Welcome to the Smark Podcast. I'm Aaron. This is Adam.
Oh, hi, Marks.
And we are here to cover the best in AEW from the last week, including WrestleDream 2025 this week. We're going to start, though, by talking about some of the fallout from WrestleDream. So apparently, former AEW coach Sarah Stock is criticizing the aquarium spot from the main event at WrestleDream, and basically saying that kids are impressionable and they will die recreating this. Okay, I'll just kick it off here. Look, a couple things from somebody who's been in the business and knows how this shit works. One, despite all of our best efforts to keep wrestling safe, wrestling by its very nature is not a safe business. There is a reason why do not try this at home disclaimers are all over WWE, AEW, TNA, and other programming. It is not because we just don't want kids to pretend to be wrestlers or love this business. It's because we understand that an untrained child who does not know what a pile driver is could break their friend's neck by doing a pile driver. Or that they may try to recreate some of these things. Okay, look, here's the deal. That happens. Okay. Kids are going to wrestle and pretend to
Yeah,
be wrestlers. Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
I had five younger brothers to work on too.
Yeah. There you go. See, and I had like my nine best friends, my brothers who, same thing. We all wrestled. We did backyard wrestling. There's videotapes of me that exist backyard wrestling, doing dangerous things. My original knee injury is because I got pushed off a trampoline and my leg got wrapped around the bar at the edge of the trampoline and I fell and my shoulders and head did not hit the ground. I got hung up and it hyperextended my knee and I've had a knee injury ever since. I was like 15 years old when that happened. It's a wrestling related knee injury.
Yeah.
I had
I
that when I was
act
like 15 years old.
I never injured any of my brothers, but one of my friends, you remember from our e-betting days, Ben Hodges?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he and I were friends in real life and we did this I went over to his house one day and he had his little sister tape us doing this hardcore match around his house, right? And I hit him in the head with a chair. Didn't realize until over a year later when he told me that that chair shot gave him a concussion.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I felt so terrible.
Now,
I felt like how could you not tell me? But
right.
this is the kind of stuff that happens when you're untrained and you're an idiot child. Like
You're an
I was
idiot
an
child.
idiot child.
Right. So that said, there is a line between what kids will emulate and what they will not. There is historically an overreaction by parents and people like Tipper Gore to content that is now known to be completely harmless, basically, like Beavis and Butthead or South Park had this problem. Wrestling has always had this problem. Kids have been injured and have died because of wrestling maneuvers. It has happened. When that became like a publicly known thing, that's when WWE started saying, "Don't try this at home. We don't want you to be hurt." Like these are trained professionals. These are like this is where kayfabe started really dying because we had to explain to people these are trained professionals and trained stuntmen. And I know wrestlers don't like me saying that fucking word, but let's be real here. You're trained to fall. You're trained to not be hurt in situations where you look like you're going to be hurt. You're not a glorified stuntman like Ric Flair called Mick Foley. That was very fucking offensive. You're not a glorified stuntman, but the best way to communicate to the average viewer and the average American person or worldwide person what we are is to say, this is a trained professional stuntman. This is somebody who knows what they're doing. Now, do I think that AEW is going to have a problem with a rash of kids emulating the drowning of Darby Allin? Fuck no, because there's a line.
Yeah.
Us kids, like, yeah,
No.
we want to wrestle and we want to do the cool moves and stuff, but nobody's looking to get hurt when kids do that. And one thing that kids universally probably understand is that drowning someone is bad. And on top of that, even the AEW audience in house while this was happening was calling it out, chanting, "This is murder." That was not facetious. We mean it when we say that. What is happening here is literally murder.
Attempted. Nobody
Attempted.
actually died.
Either way. So I don't feel like we're going to have like some rash of kids fucking emulating this. And I honestly, if your child is doing this to another child, I think you got way, way, way bigger problems than what's on AEW programming.
Yeah. My thing is like from a from a certain standpoint, I get it because I am the parent of young children who are, have access to screens, and they're far more savvy at that age with screens than I was when they first came out,
Mm-hmm.
touch screens and stuff like that. They are so adept at that. And the YouTube algorithm will just spit out whatever, you know.
Yep.
If you're going through shorts and you're just flipping, 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 anything could come up on that if there's no pattern to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, here's something that has a lot of views. Maybe you'd like that because it can't tell. It's
Yeah.
it's not a person with judgment. It's just a stupid, you know, computer program that doesn't have discernment. It doesn't have, it can't see what you're doing or who you are, or it can make judgments based off of that. It's just a stupid math problem, you
Yeah.
know? So like I get it. You don't want your kids coming across this stuff randomly online because it's easier for them to come across it online that way than if you just lock down your stuff. If it doesn't get flagged by YouTube or whatever site you use as having violent content that can be blocked by a a parental control of some kind, then yeah, it might slip through the cracks and they might see it. And they're not always going to talk to you about it. That's scary. I get it. I totally get it. But that's the thing is it at the end of the day, it's a parenting thing. It's a parenting thing. It's scary as hell out there for parents these days, but really the only people ultimately responsible for parenting are parents. And parents, then grandparents or whoever's raising you, whoever is your legal guardian and custodian. And any halfway decent parent, they're just trying to do the best they can. So you do the best you can with what to limit what they see. If you have concerns, you have open conversations with your kids about the things that concern you, and then you hold out hope that your kids make good choices. At the end of the day, that's really all we can do. And yeah, it's sad that some are going to shirk their responsibilities as parents. Eh, That's super sad, but that's not on anyone but those failures of parents. Nobody else, and certainly not a pro wrestling company that warns you what it's all about at every opportunity. There's the TV 14 logo there. There's the months of or the weeks of build that were leading up to this match saying yeah, this is going to be something else. They openly call their fans sickos. Like that's only kind of tongue in cheek, you know?
No, yeah, it's only kind
Uh
of we love this shit. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Like, I mean, you want to say like that,
yeah,
like you how dare you put on such this is we love this shit. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, but like there's no other wrestling company giving us what we want
yeah.
like this. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
and this is not like an out of the blue thing. Like you said, there was weeks of build to this. This is a logical conclusion.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as John Moxley started pacing around doing that cunty walk he does, I was like,
God, I hate that
he's
pace.
about to try to kill Darby Allin because he thinks it's the only way he's going to get him to quit. Now, how is he going to try to kill him? Are we going to set him on fire? Are we going to like threaten to chop his head off? Are we going to? I didn't come around to drowning, but here we are,
Yeah.
and honestly, with the escalations that have been happening in this feud, this is a logical conclusion. The same way it
Yeah.
was logical when Swerve was beating Hangman upside the head with a brick. The same
Yeah.
way it was logical when Eddie Kingston tried to immolate Jungle Boy.
Yep.
The same way it was logical when, you know,
No, no, no.
let's
He tried
there's a
to
few.
immolate Chris Jericho, and Darby actually did immolate Jungle Boy.
Yeah, no, who was it that was chained to the cage that they were gonna
uh
set on fire and the
J-
Young Bucks quit? Was
Jungle
that
Boy.
was
It was
Jungle
Jungle
Boy, right?
Boy,
Yeah, so
but
we were.
Kingston wasn't part of that.
Oh, okay. See, I thought that was when Kingston came down with
No,
the gas can.
no, no. In Anarchy in the Arena,
Oh
Darby
yeah,
actually
yeah.
like they dunked him in water to make it to give him an excuse for looking wet when really it
Mm-hmm.
was all
The
the
gel.
gel, the flammable gel, but that was actually protecting him from getting
Mm-hmm.
actually burned. Inside blood and guts was a different thing. That they were gonna set him on fire, but he was chained to the cage. That was a
Yeah,
different event. For
but
some reason, I don't know, Jungle Boy just likes getting set on fire.
I guess
I
so.
don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, well, he's been set on fire. Darby set Moxley on fire in the last few weeks.
Yeah, right in the ass.
Yeah, like he set his whole bottom half
He
on
literally
fire.
set
Like,
his ass on fire.
yeah, people have been set on fire a few times, and so that's nothing new. The drowning thing is new, but I mean, come on, people, we've set people on fire.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't,
Last time
if
we saw Gabe Kidd, he was in a body bag being dragged out around Philadelphia by a truck.
and all we
Okay.
know about after that situation is that we saw the chain and the ripped up body bag.
Yeah, we haven't seen Gabe Kidd
We haven't seen
in
Gabe Kidd.
kayfabe. In kayfabe, Gabe Kidd is probably dead.
Yeah, Darby drug him to death through the streets of Philly. Like Gabe Kidd is currently in pieces in the Philadelphia gutters, which, as I understand, no offense to Philly folks, is probably not very noticeable. As much as I love
I
my
look,
Philly
yeah.
homies,
I
yeah,
so I like as far as Sarah Stock is concerned, like
yes, Sarah's stuck. Goddamn.
she's I'm sure she's not alone in her concerns. And I will go out on a limb and hope for the best that most of those people's intentions are good. It would be way easier if the world catered to what would make our jobs as parents easier.
I mean, it would
But
be.
they don't, they won't, and in most cases, they probably shouldn't, with a few exceptions.
Yeah.
So, that being said, it's up to individual adults to sort out. So, if Sarah Stock wants to turn her her TV off, at 12:15 in the morning when her kids should probably be in bed anyway.
Yeah. I mean, granted,
you
it's Saturday night,
know,
but at the same time, like, are your kids awake at past
any
midnight
kid,
watching a wrestling pay per view? Because I sometimes, even if I'm super interested in wrestling and every match on the card, which like last night, I was super interested in like everything that was happening. Even then, I still have trouble staying awake during a 4.5 hour wrestling show.
yeah.
So
But
you
I
tell me
was
a nodding off toddler watch this at 12:15 at night. I'm going to call you a liar
no,
first, and then you can
yeah,
prove it to me.
yeah. And that's the thing is that I think most people who probably have those concerns are doing so in good faith. I think she's not doing so. I think she's doing it for
No.
attention.
Well, of course she is. I mean, like, look. Okay, she's part of this business, is she not?
Yep, which means she's
She's
by
a
nature
fucking
a
carny.
liar.
She's a fucking carny and a liar, and that's and a bullshitter. And I'm sorry. Like, look, guys. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all know this right away. Okay, on this show right here,
Yeah.
on this show right here, you're getting it from me straight. I am not carnying any of you. I'm not doing the wrestler lying thing. As a person who's in this business, when I tell you the viewpoint from the business, that is my internal viewpoint. I don't reflect anybody else's, but I am also not carnying or working or doing any of that shit. Everything you get out of me is how I actually feel about this shit. You're talking to Aaron. You're not
Now
talking to referee Aaron.
when you're dressed like a zebra, that's a different thing.
Now, if you meet me in person or I'm at a show and I've got a zebra shirt on, you're talking to a worker and you're probably going to get worked if you ask me weird questions. But here, you're getting everything. Now, that said, this shit that Sarah Stock is doing is probably working. She's probably
Yeah.
trying to draw attention to herself. Dude, I don't know. Now, what the motivations are behind that, I have no idea. Because you can't say maybe she's trying to get some attention to herself to get back on TV because she's like working as a coach right now. So she's not really on TV anyway. But
Maybe she's building towards a podcast.
maybe she's building towards a podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe she's trying to come up with like she's a worker, so she's working. So there's a reason she's trying to get this attention. What that is, I don't know. However, what I will tell you is this is like how good is your first bit of attention going to do you if it's negative? Because I will let you guys understand this right now. I know she's worked for everybody, but today is the first time I've ever heard her name.
Yeah.
If this is the first impression I have of you, I don't really want to go watch your podcast because I feel like you're like maybe you got some issues in your own parenting that you got to work out that make you so insecure about everybody else. Or maybe you've got some issues in your own work and your own shit that you got to work out before everybody else is like, I mean, it's whatever, but maybe she's just working to get the negative attention. Maybe it is literally for heat. In that case, I understand. But if you're not on TV, why the fuck are you getting heat? Like, what are you doing? Like, getting heat on the internet is like that follows you. That heat that if you get heat online, sometimes you can never lose it. No matter how much, like, I mean, like, look at the Bucks, man. Look at the Bucks and how they reacted to like the whole CM Punk situation and shit online and all the petty shit they posted and everything afterwards, and how that shit, despite it being like 3 and 4 years later now, has followed them and in some way has negatively affected them. Now, is it impossible for the people who are feeling negative about them because of that to fucking come around and be like, okay, it's over. Fuck it. I'm a fan. No, because I did that. Like, I still love CM Punk, but God damn it, if I'm not a Bucks fan now, just because
Yeah.
of what their work rate and their what they're doing on TV. But did I think that afterwards, they were petty and that the work that they were doing was foolish? Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was petty and stupid on both sides. Well, I didn't really hold, like, I held aside for a little bit, and I still hold aside for like how the situation went down because this is a fucking locker room, not a fucking cubicle farm. But with this, I don't understand the motivation here. If she's genuinely concerned, cool. She's genuinely concerned, but at the same time, this is
I
a
mean,
this is
I
an
don't.
individual parent issue. It's not a
I
everybody
yeah.
issue.
I don't know her individually. I don't know if there's an angle. Maybe it's just for the sake of attention. Maybe there is no getting paid at the end of this. Maybe it's just the outgrowth of everybody. With the growth of social media, everybody wants attention.
Yeah. Well, see,
Some
here's
more
the
than others, and maybe that was just she was feeling like she was wanting to get some numbers or whatever, or wanted to have some. Some people they just do this to argue. They're called
maybe
trolls, and they're
maybe that's what she's
everywhere.
doing.
Like I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Either
see,
way, I think the way she handled it was foolish,
yeah, it
and
was
I think that
foolish.
she's wrong. She's
She
wrong.
is. She is. Now, the other thing I think is like I'm like, who's she working for now? Is she coaching at WWE?
I think she's
Like
back
NXT
there
or something
in
like that?
NXT.
Okay, so
I could be wrong about that, but I'm
here's
gonna
the
go
issue
check.
I see with it, and anybody who has a social media and a job in this day and age can probably understand where I'm coming from here. But what she's done is garnered negative attention in a way. Like, okay, so like I don't know who she is. Despite having worked for all these other companies, I don't know who this lady is. Okay. So now today, I hear about how she's being kind of a jerk online, just for a general term, like I mean, whatever. Um, and now I know where she works too. It took like literally 2 seconds to to be like, look,
Maybe I
this
was
is.
wrong about that. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's not currently working there.
But
If I was wrong, I apologize.
but
My bad.
either way, it's like if anybody else got that wrong information, like there are people on the internet who are way more serious about this shit than people like I am. Like I don't like I if I know even if I know where you work, okay, unless you're like a fucking Nazi, I'm probably not gonna bother picking up a phone or an email and talking to your supervisor. But there are other people who will do that just for this little thing that she's done here. Just for this,
Yeah.
and then they're going to go, oh, she worked at WWE or she worked at TNA or she worked at AEW, and then HR departments are going to get flooded with emails and phone calls about this specific person. And what she's done now is, if she's not working somewhere, she's made herself a future headache, and if she is working somewhere, whatever HR department is over her is now going to experience at least a minor headache because of her. And I know it seems like a minor inconvenience, but literally all it takes to fuck up your whole shit in this business is to become a minor inconvenience for someone. Because
True.
there's 1,000 people standing behind you who are not minor inconveniences. And that's, and I mean, I hate that it is that way, because it's like, well, you can't speak out. You can, but you got to pick and choose your battles. Like right now, you're trying to take on Tony Khan. That's not a winner. It's
No.
not a winning battle you're fighting there. So yeah, I mean, I feel like, yeah, this is a very foolish way to go about this. Especially just being kind of an ancillary person in the business. Like if, if like, I don't know, like Martha Hart had said something like this, it might be a different story,
Yeah, maybe.
because of her level of involvement with AEW and like the type of shit her family's gone through. She was like, this is truly disgusting. I can see that. But honestly, I don't think she watches the product unless she's on it. So, because if she
Yeah.
did, sometimes I question like some of the things they do. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, this is what the Owen Hart Foundation is promoting, huh? Uh, but like but at the same time, like this was just foolish. It was just foolish how she did this. It was ill advised to.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to describe it, is ill-advised.
Mhm.
Is all this, I mean, I can't speak for Twitter or whatever, but I know that she was the main character on Russell Sky for at least several hours. It was her turn.
That's either
So
very good or very bad.
yeah, it's
So,
usually
and
bad.
it's usually bad. Yeah, if you're the main character on Wrestle Sky and your name's not Hangman Adam Page, it's usually not a very good thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and that's only because he is the main character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, main character derogatory as opposed to main character complimentary.
I don't know. I think main character complimentary at this point. I used to think main character
No, I mean
derogatory.
just to
Oh,
draw the
her for her.
distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. His is complimentary for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Every time.
It used
And
to be
I
derogatory for me, because I was like, you know what, like no one person is the main character. Everybody needs to have a
yeah.
level of importance. But at the same time, like you really just can't deny how much
Yeah.
AEW, like how much Tony Khan obviously loves this man, and how much all of us also do.
Yeah.
At that point, at this point, it's not a deniability thing. Like like this is the main character. If you don't understand that, I'm not sure you're getting it over
Yeah.
here.
I mean, he's the main character in as much as an ensemble show can have a main character.
Yeah, yeah. And it is an ensemble cast. I mean,
Yeah.
there's tons of stars here. But I mean, Hangman is like the main guy. I mean, literally, Samoa Joe, and we're going to talk about this more later, but I just got to say it now. Samoa Joe gets cheered even when he's a fucking dickhead heel. You know how to
Yeah.
get people to fucking boo him? Just look at
Yeah.
last night.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
that's that's the Hangman effect.
Oh,
Like,
I'm really looking forward to discussing that bit tonight.
yeah, me too. Me too. So anyway, now that we're past Sarah Stock, and I'm sorry, Sarah. Like, I don't want to say, I don't want to feel dismiss, like I don't want to put up a vibe of dismissiveness by saying I don't know who you are. I just genuinely don't. You've worked for every company and I haven't, so fuck, you did better than I did already. Um, so I'm not trying to be dismissive in saying that, especially from underneath. I don't want to like punch up at somebody who's gotten higher in the business than I have. But at the same time, this was just ill advised. Yeah, it was just ill advised. I think that's probably the best way to put it. And there we are. Now, fucking, we got like 7 hours of wrestling to cover.
Yep.
So
So let's get into it.
get into it. Starting with Dynamite and Collision combo show, 3 hours from Kansas City at the what arena was this?
Cable Dahmer Arena in Independence, Missouri.
Okay, so yeah,
Right?
that's
So,
KC
yeah.
MO. Um, this was a bigger arena than I thought they were going to run for a Dynamite Collision, and was full of
Yeah.
shit and was hot.
Yeah.
So good on these folks.
Yeah. Yeah. These guys were great. This crowd was great the whole time.
Mhm.
I
So
remember, at Wrestle Dream, the they kept going over about how St. Louis was such a hot wrestling town, and it never really came to mind how much the Twins, Kansas City and St. Louis were like a hotbed of wrestling, because the ones that always come to mind are New York, Chicago, Philadelphia,
mhm,
to a lesser extent Toronto, mostly because they've hosted a couple of WrestleManias.
yeah,
Um, St. Louis doesn't usually like come to mind necessarily. Minnesota, because of all the talent that
the
comes from
Ganyas
that.
and shit. Yeah,
Yeah, but like, yeah, like I get it. I totally get it, because these guys were. You got a round of applause to you guys over there in Missouri. You guys are getting it done as far as being a hot wrestling crowd. I see the vision now.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they were a hot crowd all night. So we opened the show with kind of a recap from last week, which we covered all of this. So, no big deal really. We'll just run it real quick. Talked about Kota. Went over Kota Ibushi's injury, Mark Davis's return, Kenny Omega and Jack Perry, and then kind of push for tonight's matches a little bit. And then we go backstage with Renee Paquette, and she's with Chris Statlander and Timeless Tony Storm. And she thanks them for agreeing to no physicality, and then they just start taking their clothes off.
Yep, like they know what they're about. They know what they're about.
All right. Yeah. So
Earning your TV 14 rating already, right out the gate.
yeah, right out the gate. And then this actually forces Renee to intervene and scream enough at both of them, and then take off her own jacket.
Yeah, I like that she like almost couldn't help herself, but like join in just a tiny bit.
Right.
Like it was like, oh wait a minute, this is the vibe. No, no, and then she gets mad at herself. I think it was funny.
Yeah. So Tony Storm kicks it off kind of with, the whole "it's not you, it's me" thing. And then she says when she lost the title, she thought she'd be free, but all she feels is nothing unless she's near the title.
Yeah,
So obviously Tony Storm is, you know, very distraught at not having her title.
jonesing for a hit.
Yeah, jonesing for it. However, well, we'll talk more about that later. After that, you know, she says she doesn't know who she is without the title, but then she asks who Chris Statlander is, and she says you can't figure out who I am because I'm constantly evolving, and you kind of lose yourself, but I'm always evolving. She's like, I'm the culmination of everything I have been. I'm already a different person than you faced last time. And I'm like,
And that tracks too, like the way that
yeah,
she's presenting herself. She's taking little bits of previous incarnations of herself and incorporating that into her character and her presentation now. Like it's very uh very true to form here.
yeah, true to form. I think that's the most thing or the biggest thing that resonated with me about this is that what Chris Statlander said was true. Like
Yeah,
she is evolving like hardcore right now. Like almost every time she has a match, it's something new, and she's incorporating new moves. She's like turning
she's
up
probably
the heat.
changed her music more often than literally anybody else in
That's
AEW.
probably true. Yes. Except maybe the Bucks, and I think that, but I mean, she changed it by choice. They changed it by having
I
$32.
mean, a lot of times their music changes are gimmicks, like one night, two night gimmicks.
Yeah,
I don't really count that.
I
I
don't know
mean,
when
like,
was the last time we heard Kansas or even their piano music. Like we've heard, I think they've come out to their piano music like one time in the last like 12 weeks or something.
when they still had money
Yeah, when they had
from the
money.
last time they won it,
Yeah, that was
and
the
they were
only
able to
time they got
pay to
their
get the.
music.
Yep.
Yeah, so like, yeah, like I mean, it may not be a gimmick
But
at this
like
point. It
even
may just be like they don't get to have regular music anymore.
well, like again, that's part of the gimmick. Like
Yeah,
even like they would get the jobber entrance and they'd get no music, or like
yeah,
for example at the pay per view they would come out to the clickety clack of a keyboard of all things. Like
yeah.
I don't think that's going to maintain. I think it's a gimmick for one night. Should it count as like a real music change? No, because it was an angle. It's not a
Okay,
it's
fair.
not a presentation change that has sustainability.
So they kind of go back and forth a little bit. They remove their microphones and kind of storm away because they obviously can't agree on anything here. And
Yep.
we go back
They
to the
agreed to
comment.
they agreed to no physicality. They asked her, "Is this interview over?" Yeah, I guess. Great. I'll meet you out in the ring.
Yeah,
Like
they're
it
just like,
was
I'll meet
awesome.
you out in the ring. We go back to the commentary desk, and the commentators are like immediately interrupted by these two, and they're already on their way down to the ring, and they're basically just fighting down the aisle.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean,
Stalemate.
basically
Both
a
get some
stalemate.
moves on each
Yeah,
other, but it ends kind of in a stalemate.
yeah. Tony kind of got Storm down or Statlander down, and then was going back to swing. She stopped, put the title on her shoulder, kissed her on her forehead, and left.
Yep.
So I mean that part kind of confused me a little bit, but that's just Tony Storm and her typical
That's
weirdness.
her
So
way of
it really didn't
that's her
like
way of showing you
it.
respect
It didn't
is what it is.
confuse me so much as I was just like, huh, okay. I mean, but
I like to look at it through the Hollywood lens. It was her knowingly leaving the crowd wanting
mm, well, I mean, they certainly did. After that, we got Jurassic Express. Jungle Boy, Jack
Jungle
Perry
Jack.
backstage. Jungle Jack backstage. He's got a message for the Young Bucks, and he's just like, I don't hate you. He actually said, "I love you guys," and that he'd always be grateful, but y'all didn't pick up the phone when I needed you.
Which is I wish he was more specific about what that meant.
Yeah,
Like
I kind of do too.
why were you gone for 11 months?
Why were you
Like
calling them?
why were you calling them? Like the last time we saw you, you lost your TBS title to Daniel Garcia and then you just backed off and we didn't get an explanation for your absence. We didn't get anything. We got nothing. And now
Yeah,
as much as I'm glad that Jurassic Express is back, and as much as I, you know, think that them versus the Young Bucks is great, the explanation is like okay, oh, you needed them during this period. Why were you off for so long? He's
yeah,
not even like given an in character explanation for. I mean, other than vagaries. It's like,
yeah.
oh, I was at a low point in my life, and I needed friends, but oh, really? What were you going through? You don't need to know. I mean, I feel like I do.
Yeah, I mean, this is a TV show. I kind of should.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you should tell us because we're an audience, not a random group of people who are eavesdropping on your conversation.
yeah. So I
Um,
don't know. Like it's it was the setup is bad. Like it was not there was not enough meat on the bone to justify this turn against them, in my opinion. I
mm,
will say that the results were awesome though.
yeah, yeah, they
We'll
were.
get there when we get there.
Yeah,
But like as if we're talking about the lead up right now in this moment in this show, and it did not pique my interest. Like,
No, not
if
really.
you're not going to tell me why or how, then why do I care?
Yeah. After that, we had a tag team match with GOA versus Lashley and Benjamin of the Hurt Syndicate. Um, this is basically just another step to getting to that trios match at WrestleDream. However, GOA won this one and got the very first pin on Hurt Syndicate on AEW TV.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool for them. And
Yeah,
the way, I mean, they cheated to get there. Ricochet comes in and blasts Shelton with an incredible drive-by spirit gun. He just slides in the ring, hits him with it, like goes practically through the guy and slides out of the ring all in one fluid motion because Ricochet, the crappy person that he is an incredible professional wrestler.
yeah. But I mean,
Like
yeah,
that ending was, it was blink and you missed it, but if your eyes were open, it was great.
yeah. Now, after he hit that spirit gun, they Khan pins Benjamin. That's our first pinfall loss. But Khan's celebrating, and he doesn't see MVP come up behind him with a cane and break the cane across his back. Um,
Yeah,
he was about to get housed, and they kind of pulled him away. And then the three of them kind of stand in there. The Hurt Syndicate kind of stand tall at the end of it, but then we're told there's going to be a trios match between these two, a tornado trios match between these two at WrestleDream. So that
and then
should be the end of it.
later, the stipulation was added that the winners would be the number one contenders to the trios title.
Yeah.
So we were talking last week about how going from trios match to street fight to trios match was probably weird and backwards, but at least they added at kind of at the last minute two stipulations on the back end to kind of justify it. Kind of to still build upwards instead of plateauing or, God forbid, going downhill.
Yeah.
So
So after that, we've got Darby Allin and John Moxley in their face to face, where we believed that Darby Allin was going to get his face smashed in, and I thought for a second that wasn't going to happen since they were separated in like a
prison,
prison visitation
which I thought
section.
this was so good. The way it was shot, the way it was presented. There's the one part where you know Moxley comes and sits down, and it's showing him from it's shooting from behind Darby, and
Mhm.
Moxley's sitting. He sits down and he starts talking, but you can see Darby's reflection in the glass, so you see both of their faces, and it's just like, man, they need to do more of this kind of stuff
Yeah.
because it was so different from the presentation that they normally have for sit down face to faces, that kind of deal like that. I thought it was shot brilliantly. I thought it came off more like not completely, but more organic conversation than most of these things tend to. A little bit less scripted. You got the little interesting nugget that Darby Allin actually considered joining the Death Riders, uh, because the cause is something that he could actually get behind, but he just doesn't trust somebody who would try to murder one of their best friends. Fancy that. So, like, I thought everything about this was great. Uh, Pac comes in at the end while Mox is very, very calmly just watching this happen, and he just beats the hell out of Darby,
Yeah.
just
Just
throwing his
houses
face
him.
into the walls and into the glass. It's just like he I don't know if it was hard way or not. I don't think it matters, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was actually busted open hard way from this. Like, he was getting thrown into everything hard, and I think
Yeah.
at this point, Pac, with his new uh action figure physique and his vascularity, maybe he doesn't know his own strength. I don't
Maybe
know.
not.
I don't know.
Yeah. He beat the
So
shit out of him, man. I was like,
yeah,
holy
he just
crap.
whooped that boy. Absolutely gave him the government mule treatment.
Yeah. After that, we've got Claudio Castagnoli versus Roderick Strong, which I'm really enjoying Roddy taking on the Death Riders since it seems like he's the only one doing it.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
he's like salivating every time he gets a chance to get in there with Moxley
Yeah.
or any of them really, but like
Anyhow, yeah.
specifically Moxley, like he wants to like be that guy.
He's like, I get to wrestle in front of my wife. Fuck yeah. That too. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I bet there's some weird like kink thing that's going on here.
maybe.
They
But
seem like freaks.
Castagnoli, I mean, they had a really great match here. I thought it was a lot of like really good action. I mean, Roddy being Roddy, Claudio being Claudio. It's a bit of a clash of styles, but they gel well. So it really
Yeah, I
turned out to
mean,
be a really good.
Roddy's got that gas tank like nobody else.
Yeah,
Claudio's got that ability to just do literally whatever
yeah.
and mesh with whose ever style and just come up with the best stuff. Like and it was great. I love that the finish was the pop up uppercut.
Hmm.
Like I feel like maybe it was a little anticlimactic to people in the audience, but I always thought that should be his finish. You
Yeah,
know, like, especially with the smaller guys, they can really launch up into the air. Like that looks impressive and brutal
yeah,
every time. That looks like a finish.
yeah. But yeah, you got that uppercut out of nowhere for the win. And that is win 100 for Claudio.
Yep. Yep. I
So
noticed that too, that he was walking in there with 99 wins.
yeah,
Good for him.
good for him. Yeah. After that, we have a birthday celebration for Don Callis. Um, with all these, I guess the original six of his guys or something besides Takeshita.
It wasn't all of them. Like, I guess there's some. Oh yeah, there was the other news that we didn't discuss. The weirdness with Andrade's situation.
Yeah.
The long and story is apparently their WWE is trying to enforce a year-long no compete clause that was apparently in the dude's contract that could be enacted if he was fired for cause was, which I think is just shameful and should be illegal. Like, how is that legal? How can you I mean, I granted, when during these no compete clauses, WWE is still paying.
mm,
So it's not like they're, going destitute or whatever. But how can you deny somebody employment for an entire year and that be legal? How is that like 3 months? Oh, okay, whatever. That's stupid, but I can kind of see it. People can survive for 3 months. A year? How
yeah.
is that conscionable, let alone legal?
Mm,
But yeah, so apparently they brought him in, and then WWE threatened legal action, and now they're trying to hash it out. And until then, we won't see Andrade. So he was not here at this meeting, but it
no.
was uh Rocky was there, Okada was there, Hechicero was there, Archer,
And Fletcher. Right.
Fletcher, one more guy. Who was it? I don't
Mm,
remember.
I don't have them all written down.
Yeah.
But
It wasn't Trent. I know that. I was like,
no.
why is Rocky there but no Trent?
Yeah, it's weird.
Um, but yeah, there were six guys there, but Fletcher was the one who does the standing up saying and presenting this whole thing to Don Callis after he made like a rah-rah speech. To catch this on the screen in a pre-tape message saying that sorry I couldn't be there, I had to be in Japan, which you obviously know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win that IWGP world heavyweight title for you. Guess what? Spoiler alert, that guy did it,
Yeah.
which
Like
we
we've been
called on
saying
this
this whole
show.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We called that months ago that he was
Yeah,
going to
as
win
soon
the
as he won the
IWGP.
G1, it was a done.
Yeah,
It was a
done
done
deal.
deal. Um, but yeah, it was but before he could get through the entirety of the message, Okada very with the remote in his hand, very clearly, deliberately turns it off, but then like, oh, I hit the wrong button.
Thought it.
Okada, you scamp, you.
You're rascal.
Never change. Never change, buddy.
But yeah, so he pressed the wrong button. I'm sorry, and then they all toast to the family, and then we get highlights of Takeshita defeating Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP Heavyweight Title, and I went back and watched the match. It was pretty fucking good, man. It
I
was it
mean,
was
with the
it was
two
really good.
involved, you would have to expect that.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know about Takeshita like keeping up with Zack Saber's like technical shit, but no, they put that to bed pretty quickly. So
Yeah, like it's such like there's no part of his game, his in-ring game that he can do literally anything in there. It's
yeah.
it's kind of nuts for somebody as big as he is to have the agility and the dexterity, the flexibility that he has with his frame. He's like
Hmm.
6'3", 6'4", something like that, 240 pounds ish. He moves like somebody half his size, and
Yeah.
that includes not just for flying, but also just moving around his opponent. Doing all that techer stuff, the actual grappling part of wrestling. Like he can
Hmm.
hang there with literally anybody.
Yeah.
He's got to be. You have to figure that he's probably in the conversation now, if you didn't already consider him for best pound for pound wrestler in the world. He's in the conversation. May not be the top choice, but he's in that conversation.
Uh, after that, we had our trios match with Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express versus Mark Davis, Josh Alexander, and Hechicero from Don Callis
Oh, it was Josh
family.
Alexander was the other one. He was the sixth
Yeah.
guy.
Oh,
That's
okay.
cool.
Yeah. Um, I mean, we kicked it off with Omega and Josh Alexander, but Alexander like basically gets Hechicero in immediately. So it's Omega and Hechicero to start it off, which is a match I need a full match of.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I need Hechicero and Omega, but this match altogether was pretty good. I mean, I thought it ran a little long, just because like kind of a one-off throwaway party match. They usually don't last, more than like 10, 15 minutes, but this one went for like 25 or something like that. Like it was kind of long. Um, but it wasn't bad. Like I'm not saying it was long because it was bad. It definitely wasn't bad. Like everybody involved really like put it out there and had it like it looked like a good. I mean, it was a good time. I had a good time watching the match. We hit the Doomsday device for the win on Hechicero, which was weird.
Yeah,
It was weird that he took the pin and not like Mark Davis.
yeah, yeah. I,
Um,
I I kind of assumed it'd be Davis, but um, I mean, he just came back.
yeah,
Alexander, I think they want to run it back with Omega at some point, so they probably want to protect him a little bit, at least in a match that has Omega in it.
yeah,
Which left Hechicero. So, but yeah, match was great. It was a nice. It was cool seeing Omega and Jurassic Express teaming together. I don't think we've seen that before. Never really had a chance for any of that to actually happen. It's
hmm,
kind of cool.
yeah,
Um, and after the match, the Young Bucks hit the ring. They beat up Jurassic Express. Uh, Omega makes the save before they hit the Meltzer driver, though. And then Luchasaurus comes back, clotheslines the Bucks. Uh, Harry Moonsaults off of Luchasaurus to take out Don Callis family and ringside, like the whole thing. So like
yeah,
they got beat down a little bit, but the baby faces still wound up on top.
yeah. I mean, but this, I mean, I seeing Jurassic Express like it piqued my interest in their match with the Young Bucks more, but it still had
I
some
think they
work to
still have to
do. I
kind of
think,
figure out who they are
yeah,
now. Like what's different about this version of Jurassic Express. I think they're still figuring that out.
yeah,
I mean, the matches are going to be good, but like it's still,
Like, who is this character?
yeah, and it's not so much Luchasaurus.
Oh no, it's not.
It's Perry.
Yeah,
Like it's he's trying to walk that fine line of incorporating the edge that he picked up as a heel and working it into a babyface presentation.
yeah,
And it's a fine line because like he was so obnoxious. Like it wasn't that he was, the thing was he was a nihilistic heel and
yeah,
kind of a masochist.
a little bit.
And like that's kind of difficult to incorporate into a babyface role
Yeah,
because nihilism is kind of essentially everybody sucks and I don't care about them. And masochism only kind of works in a promotion if you're the biggest masochist, when definitely Darby Allin is the much bigger masochist
yeah,
in this
yeah,
promotion by comparison. Like if Darby Allin wasn't in this promotion, you could get away with him making that part of his babyface gimmick and basically being like the Cactus Jack who won't, who keeps getting up and everything like that. You can do it a little bit, but it's always going to pale in comparison to Darby Allin because he's just willing to, as we will see later on, put himself through hellacious, stupid stuff in order to get sympathy from a crowd.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean, it's like CM Punk said about his dives. Why is anybody else doing dives? Can't do them as well as Darby. Why is Jungle Jack trying to do a mask? Why would he try to do a mask thing when Darby does that so much better?
yeah. But yeah, they
And
would.
so like he's still trying to find that line to walk, and I think he'll find it eventually. But right now, it's a little it's a little that line is fuzzy at the moment. It's
Yeah,
not quite in focus yet.
right. After that, we've got Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue. Um, this match was pretty good, but really the story was the promo afterwards. So Hayter finishes off Sky Blue with the Haterade, and then Tekla appears for like the first time she's been on the mic, really.
For
Um,
any substantial at the time before she got
yeah,
cut off.
and she's like, congratulations. Um, but she's like, not to you, to me. Look how far I've made this. She's like, she was misunderstood in Europe, kicked out of Japan. She's been around the world and she's not impressed. And then finally gives us a reason why she attacked Jamie Hayter when she debuted. And it was because she was just there, wrong place, wrong time. Um,
Yep, Agents of Chaos. That
so
makes sense.
yeah, so she challenges Jamie to impress her on Saturday, which is, I mean, I thought the promo itself was pretty good, but I mean, this match I was already kind of into.
I
Um,
was so excited that there was a third women's match on the card that didn't have a title
yeah,
involved anywhere. I feel like that's major progress for the division.
yeah, it definitely is, and I mean, people obviously wanted to see it. The crowd was hot for it and everything too. So, like I was peaked for this one beforehand, so I was like ready to see it, and
Yeah,
it
me too.
didn't disappoint. Um, After that, we're introducing her as Ultimo Monet now.
Okay.
I don't really care for that, but whatever.
It should be Ultima.
we're
Ultima.
yeah, we're gonna talk
That's
about
what
it. We're gonna talk about it a little bit more later, more at length. But this was basically just about her, talking about how she's the longest reigning TBS champion now, and she's looking for that 11th title.
Yep.
So, um, after that, we've got a trios championship match with the Ops versus LFI and Hangman on commentary. Um, I need more, like, just like with the others trios match. I need more of the two starting guys here in a match. But I need Beast Mortos versus Hobbs.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
need
yeah.
that. I need more of that. Like this, but this whole thing was good. I really liked that the LFI was facing the Ops because this is a group of three guys that Roosh can't really treat like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I prefer that actually. Like, I I don't like him basically blatantly beating the shit out of jobbers. I don't. It
yeah, he's a
doesn't
little
seem
rough,
right to me. He's
a
rough
little
with
rough.
them. Yeah, but he ain't gonna act like that to Powerhouse Hobbs or
No,
Samoa Joe because they'll beat the shit out of
you
him.
know what you know what the funny thing is, that the one that he'd be most likely to treat that way would be Shibata,
And that's the most dangerous one of
but
the three to
he's
treat
the
that
most
way.
dangerous one in there. Like
Mm,
he's the one who would absolutely fly off the handle and beat you for real.
yeah,
And
pick you the fuck apart.
let me tell you for real, the reason that Roosh is so tough is because he can be in this environment. He's one of those guys. He's one of those bullies. I get the feeling that if you put him in a real fight situation with somebody who is very much out of his class, he will back down immediately.
Probably.
If Shibata really took it to him, I guarantee you Shibata would take that fight.
Oh yeah.
100%. 100%. And he would embarrass Rouge doing that. And this is coming from a guy who has gone on record and say, I like Rouge. I like his presentation. I like that. I mean, I don't like the fact that he takes advantage of local guys necessarily, but I like that his presentation is so needlessly aggressive
Yeah.
because it does set him apart from a lot of the other guys,
Yeah.
you know? And
But
I
he
like that about him. But we talked about this not too long ago about how we kind of get the feeling in real life he's kind of a bastard.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, so I don't know. I thought it was good. The match was really good though. I mean, they really
Oh
like
yeah,
went at each other pretty good.
it was nice to see Mortos actually get some stuff in without ever actually, you know, without having a job like immediately. Like
Yeah.
it was. I don't know. I mean, and it was released to go who took the uh who took the rear naked choke, right? He got choked
Yeah,
out.
he the coquina clutch.
So
Yeah, he was in the
uh
coquina clutch and he tapped out.
so yeah, like it was good to see my boy Mortos not actually have to take the fall
Yeah.
for once. It was great. I need him again in the Continental Classic, and I need him to win at least one match. That's all I'm asking, Tony, is one match. I know that each each year in each bracket you have like a designated jobber guy, and I understand the importance of that. Can it not be Mortos, but can he still be in it and at least get a win against someone?
Right?
Please.
Yeah.
That's my boy. And he's over.
He's
Everybody
over
loves
as hell.
Mortos.
Like, why you got him with LFI and losing matches? Like, this guy should
I meant
be.
I understand putting him with LFI if he was winning matches,
Yeah.
but he's not. So
No.
he's winning on ROH, which is like the ultimate who cares.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a 13 match winning streak in Ring of Honor. Well, who cares? I'm not watching Ring
Yeah,
of
and I
Honor.
won 26 matches on Dark. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like um after that we've got a tag team match with Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta versus Kyle O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy.
interesting
Um
team there. Like
yeah,
you
interesting.
kind of Garcia and Yuta even before I didn't know this until the day of when they brought it up, but yeah, I guess even before they both came to AEW, they were kind of like generational rivals with one another. They battled each other all across the indie scene, across the country, and stuff like that. It was like these are the guys. It was like Chris Hero and CM Punk way back in the day,
Yeah.
in like 2002. You know, it's like these were those guys. That was so seeing them as a tag team, interesting. It was very weird. You know,
Hmm.
especially since I don't know if this is like on purpose or not because I haven't seen like Yuta is the one who's more over as a heel, but Danny's a better, more natural talker. So
Hmm.
like he comes off when he's speaking as much more self assured as in his role in the group, and not Yuta is a little bit more insecure. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but I get the feeling that like there's going to be friction between those two because Yuta's gonna feel like his place is going to, like, he's gonna be leapfrogged.
Yeah.
Like he's, oh, we finally got a new member. I finally won't be the whipping boy, but Danny's like the new favorite. So yeah, Yuta's still gonna be the whipping boy.
Yeah.
Like, how there's gonna be uh intra-family dissension there. So I don't know. I mean, that depends on how long the Death Riders still remain the thing. And I honestly don't know how long that's gonna be, or wonder what form that's gonna take. But
No, no, I think it's
like,
probably going to be over pretty quickly before Daniel Garcia has a chance to be like a really impactful member. I think it's probably going to be
if
over.
that happens, I really hope that Danny like just freaks out and like has a complete nervous breakdown.
I
I sold
see,
my soul for everything for this, and it's just over in a month. Like,
I see
I,
Danny Garcia freaking out on Wednesday and being like, "Look, I fucking came over here because I wanted to be with winners, and now you're a loser."
yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, I I have people on my skyline that are like, yo, they should break up and then, or they should kick Moxley out and then install Yuta as the new leader. And I'm like, Yuta? Nobody's
Yuta,
following Yuta.
Claudio. If they're going to
No,
have a new leader, it needs to be
if
Claudio.
it's either gonna be Claudio or Marina.
Yeah,
Like, Marina
way
is the
out
one.
third base pick of Pac.
Yeah,
Because I mean, the Death Riders are bastards, and Pac is literally
yeah.
the
But
bastard.
Pac, even in Death Triangle, there wasn't like a leader of that.
Yeah,
Like, Pac was like the singles champion guy of that group, but he never really came off as,
a
the guy
leader.
to boss around the Lucha Bros.
Yeah,
Pac is a he's a miserable person who likes to inflict pain on other people and doesn't care really who's ordering him to do that, as long as he's pointed in a direction. Claudio could be, because he's like very clearly the right hand man and the guy who's in it specifically ideologically. Marina,
yeah.
same deal. And it would be kind of interesting, honestly, to see a woman lead that group. I think that that would be very interesting. Uh, but like Yuta, nobody's
Not
following
Yuta.
Yuta.
No,
I would say they would follow the new guy, Danny Garcia, before they would follow Yuta.
that's where I see the conflict. Also, is Yuta feeling like Danny Garcia's. Because I mean, like, look at it, man. I mean, fuck, Danny Garcia already outranks you, dog. He's been there 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Like, how long
yeah.
did it take you to get Death Rider's pants? It didn't
He
take
had to
him
grow the
very
hair
long.
first.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like that's where the conflict's going to be. But as far as this match goes, it was really good. I mean, Cassidy and O'Reilly being Cassidy and O'Reilly are perfect foils for Yuta and Garcia and their heel type of wrestling and the way they
Yeah,
do things. So
very odd couple tag team if you
yeah,
think about it, because stylistically, because on the one hand, Kyle wrestles seriously, but is a goofball.
yeah,
But Orange Cassidy, despite the facade, and he wrestles goofily, but is a very serious person.
yeah,
So it's very, they're kind of mirror images of each other in a weird way. I think it really kind of works.
yeah. It worked. It worked really good, and I thought it was a good match altogether. Afterward, let's see. Who got that? Oh yeah, Garcia tapped out, but the referee didn't see it.
Yeah, you got the visual tap
Yeah.
out.
And then O'Reilly was tossed back in, and Garcia covered him for the win. But then the Death Riders started attacking him until Roddy and Tomohiro Ishii showed up.
Big
Um,
Tom.
but the numbers are still too much, and then they kind of got cleared out, and then Moxley entered. But before he could say anything, Darby Allen's music hit, and he came out obviously still beat up from our prison encounter,
Yeah.
and basically like crawled all the way to the ring and then crawled all the way up to John Moxley and laid out the AEW flag and told him it's never too late to say I quit.
And then you know what, that part was kind
The
of weird,
balls on this one.
but it, you know what I liked about it was that each Death Rider got in his way and put him down on the ramp on his way down,
Mhm.
and he kept getting back up and just ignored them and just kept moving forward like a true, you know, dogged baby face hero. Like just, and then there
Thanks to
was that
himself.
shot of his arm reaching up over to the ring apron from the other side of the ring. Like it's
Yeah. It's like,
like
God damn,
everything
really?
about this presentation was great. And then like there were some people I saw online. I'm thinking, you dum dums, like what? Why would giving the Death Rider on the flag hurt more? It's like it's symbolism, dum dum.
It doesn't hurt more, but it
It
is a
doesn't
Death
hurt.
Rider, guys.
It's a Death Rider.
Let us not forget that it's a Death Rider.
It's symbolic. He's trying to kill the AEW that Darby stands for.
Yeah.
That is what that meant. That is what that action was symbolizing. You thick numbnuts.
Yeah. So a lot of the complainers seem to have lost the plot that the whole point of the Death Riders was to kill AEW,
Yeah, and reform it from the ashes.
reform it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And like make it in
you're
their
right.
own image. Yeah. So,
It's like and for the again, we'll go over this again. That would be a terrible idea
yeah.
because like the greatest strength of AEW is that it welcomes all different styles and all different presentations and all different forms of creativity. And if
Mhm.
you only have the one, like in kayfabe, if the Death Riders were to burn AEW down and just make it basically a promotion that was all just Death Rider mentality, that would be boring as hell.
Um, so like
Boring as hell. You might as well just be MMA at that point.
the first time somebody said something like, I was like, you would lose a lot of viewers, but I would probably still watch that. And then a couple of weeks ago, they had that part of the show where it was like 30 minutes straight of Death Riders. And then I
Yeah.
realized, no, I don't want to watch this 4 hours a week.
You know, it reminds me of that one time that the NWO took over Nitro for the whole
Oh, and it
thing,
sucked
and it
ass.
sucked.
Yeah.
And that was the point of that segment, was to suck because they were
Hmm.
heels, and it was a crappy way to get the point across because it was not interesting TV. But
Yeah.
it did hammer the point home that yeah, you don't want all NWO all the time.
No.
Similar thing. Nobody wants Death Riders all the time. It would be the show would just ass. It would
Yeah, it would
just
be
be
terrible.
so bad, so bad. So yeah, that the symbolism of him, giving the Death Rider DDT to Darby on the flag that represents what Darby stands for and cares about. Yeah, that was a powerful moment for me personally. Like, ooh, I'm digging this. I like this, and
Yeah.
it set my mind at ease because if you remember last week, I was really really concerned that Mox was not going to lose, and this set my mind at ease. Like, okay, after this, there's no way that Mox can win. They set this up. TK is very much in the corner of AEW as it is, not as the Death Riders want it to be. There's no way that he's going to do this and not turn around and have the Darby AEW win. There's no way. I
Yeah.
didn't know how it was going to happen, but my mind was set at ease.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. As soon
I
as
was like,
this
oh,
happened, I was like, Darby is definitely kicking his ass on
yeah.
Saturday. Like,
I was, I breathed a huge sigh of relief at home. My wife
yeah.
was like, what? What? Are you okay? I'm like, oh, nothing. I just know the right guy's going to win now.
Right. After that, we got well, they introduced Megan Bain, but she came out with FTR and Stokely. And then she got on the mic and asked Willow how it felt to give everything she had and it still not be good enough. And basically, rode down Harley. It looks like we're probably going to get Megan Bain and Penelope versus Harley and Willow sooner than later. Probably
Probably as
in
part of the tournament.
probably as part of the
I don't
women's
think
tag team
I'd
thing.
probably semifinal, I would say.
Then they gave Stokely the mic and he started talking about how much he hates Willow because for some reason he likes to pick on Willow. Um, but then Kevin Knight and Speedball kind of show up and you know, they take out or Jet Speed takes out FTR and Willow and everybody are like everybody's fighting around and then we kind of end up with just Harley Cameron and Bane in the ring and the bell rings and this is a match.
I mean, it was advertised ahead of time, so this was just another different, less orthodox way of getting.
Yeah, it always confuses me when they do these things. So I'm like, oh, we have a match, huh? I mean, I
It's
knew we had a
very,
match, but we have a match,
it's
huh?
very ECW
Yeah, it is
is
very
what it
ECW.
is.
Like
It's
suddenly
very
there's a match.
ECW. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the bell just randomly rings at whoever's standing in there.
Yeah, I mean, the one that I immediately go to is One Night Stand 2005, when for no reason Rhino's in the ring and he's spearing Sabu, and it's like, oh, this is a match now, and Rhino's ready to go in the corner as the referee is like, are you ready? Are you ready? And then they just go, like,
Yeah. Um. After that, we got a short segment with Eddie Kingston and Hook saying they're going to be at Tailgate Brawl.
oh yeah, Megan Bain wins. By the way.
Oh yeah, Megan Bain wins by the
Oh,
way. But
Harley Cameron looks great in this though. Like she kicked out of the Fates Descent.
yeah, I
Nobody
was
kicked out.
surprised.
Nobody's kicked out of Fates. She still ate the Liger bomb in the end
Yeah.
for the loss, but like man, like you can tell, like they're getting putting some steam behind Harley now.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's probably not going to win the tag belts in the tournament, but they've got plans for her.
Mm-hmm.
They're heating her up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. I'm here for
Um. After that, we've got Anthony Bowens and Max Caster with Alicia 2 backstage. Bowens has yet another cover plaque. Which I think we still need to do this, like where he just keeps coming out every like where eventually he has Mothra wings that are
it.
nothing but
Oh, that'd be great.
like
Yeah,
covers, like
yeah.
magazine
He
covers
should
and
talk. You should talk
plaques.
to Athena about that.
Yeah,
She can hook him. She can hook him up with that.
yeah, probably. But then, but I mean, they basically just, I mean, as usual, they can't agree. They're pleading with Tony Khan to stop making them tag together, and they keep saying they're not the Acclaimed. And like even Alicia too calls them the Acclaimed, and they come back after they've already stormed off from one another. Like we are not that.
I love how that's the only thing they can agree on. The only
Mm-hmm.
things they can agree on is that they don't actually want to be tagging together and that they're not the Acclaimed when they are.
Yeah. After that, we've got Mark Briscoe and Brodito versus Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and Rocky Romero. And normally I would be like, oh, you know, Kyle Fletcher will probably pick up the win here. But then
Nope, Rocky Romero.
You add Lance Archer and Rocky Romero, and like I mean, as much as Lance Archer is a huge threat and like the monster guy or whatever, he does take a lot of L's.
Yeah,
So
they always.
and then Rocky
I
takes all
do.
the L's.
I
So
do appreciate that even though he takes a lot of L's, at least they try to protect him in the context of the match. Like it
mhm,
usually takes something extraordinary to put him or fluky to put him down.
yeah,
It's like these people shouldn't win against him, but they wind up finding a way, as opposed to Rocky who just gets his ass kicked.
yeah.
Why?
Um,
Why is Rocky in the Donkhouse family?
I don't,
Is
I
it
don't
so that they
know.
can have somebody eat pins every now and then?
I mean, if they're
But,
going to be a huge threat, they got to have somebody to eat their pins.
yeah,
So I don't know. I do know though that this trios match is like third one of the night.
yeah.
It was
This was a
actually,
trios kind of night. Yeah.
yeah. This one was really good though, man. I mean,
I
this
think
was
this
my
was probably
favorite
the
one.
best of the bunch, honestly.
Yeah.
I would have to say.
Well, I mean, Kyle Fletcher adds points. Mark Briscoe adds points. Brodito adds points. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it was a really good match. I mean, of course, Bandito and Fletcher. Like, I need more Bandito and Fletcher for sure. Um,
We're gonna get that, as it turns out.
hmm, that's beautiful.
Yeah. But
So
yeah, the finish came. I really wish they had used that cool monkey flip over rotation splash thing, because that looks
yeah,
sick.
yeah, I
But
need more of that move.
it looks. I'm wondering if maybe they can't reliably hit it, and so they're going with this running like single leg drop kick into the Rikishi driver, like that sit out over the shoulder tombstone, sit out tombstone that he used to do.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I like the monkey flip thing, but I can see where it might be a reliability issue just because they have had some
Yeah,
problems hitting it already.
yeah.
Even though it's super fucking cool, man.
It
Like they
looks
should definitely
awesome
use it. Yeah,
when they hit it. It looks incredible,
but
absolutely phenomenal.
it's not like we're otherwise bereft of their tag team moves because they've obviously done some obviously worked on it
Oh yeah,
and come up with a
oh
lot of good stuff that they can do as a tag team in that big man small man dynamic. But I mean, I really need just like I mean, aside from Rocky, like I could see all three of the guys on the face team doing more work with Kyle Fletcher,
yeah,
like just by themselves. But Brodito being the tag team champions, I don't really want to like break either one of them off for any one reason.
yeah,
Except that now we've got, and we'll talk about it more later. But I guess Bandito is taking on Okada for the unified title
yep.
this next week. So yeah,
Yep.
they're doing a lot with these guys. Like I feel like Bandito and Brody are the workhorses right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that TK just is an enormous fan of Bandito in particular and wants to use him at every opportunity. And he's gotten a lot of probably really positive feedback regarding Brody King, who has also done excellent work over the past 5 years.
Yeah,
So like it's I feel like maybe the with the injuries to Swerve and to Osprey, uh the lack of the in and outness of Adam Copeland and stuff like that. Like this is kind of the time to elevate guys. Like
yeah.
I think they're doing. Who would have thought that the Thrown Together tag team would be the one to really elevate the tag team as champion? Who
You
would
know,
have
I
thought?
I wouldn't have normally. You wouldn't. I mean, because
Right?
normally a thrown together tag team doesn't do this kind of
But
thing.
they
But
gelled instantly.
they gelled instantly, which helped. But I mean, when you've got, I mean, you can't just throw somebody like Brody King and Bandito together and be like, no impact for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they hadn't done the extra work, like their their previous work before that had already kind of warranted them to be placed on a higher level than a normal thrown together tag team would be. But
Yeah.
then they
I mean,
themselves took,
Bandito's the world champion of Ring of Honor, for heaven's
yeah,
sake.
yeah. But they took
Having a banner year.
oh, he's having like the best year, but they took the
Yeah.
onus to work on it and develop tag team moves and do all the shit they do. And now it's not just they get to be on another level. No, like these guys have the world tag team championships and the Bucks don't.
Yeah.
Like you got a company that has the Young Bucks in it, and they're not your world tag team champions because of how good these guys ended up being.
If
Like,
you've got FTR,
yeah,
and
you got
they're not the
FTR,
champions
and
either.
they're not. Yeah,
I think that the plan is probably to run with Brodito as long as they can until they eventually lose it to FTR, so that when Copeland and Cage come back, their blow off has the tag belts on the line,
Mhm.
and they get like, you know, like a ceremonial basically title ring. Like, oh, we got Cope and Christian, you know, and this is, you know, a legendary tag team, and we're giving them kind of their, you know, their last hurrah kind of deal. These are their flowers,
Yeah.
you know, and I think FTR is going to be the one to deliver that to them. But in the meantime, they're going to ride the Brodito wave as long as it makes sense to do so until they switch the title over to FTR, who are very clearly being heated up.
The only question I have about this Brodito thing, because I'm enjoying it, I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're getting really close to it being time for Buddy to be back.
Yeah. Like the longer this goes, the more I wonder how much longer Buddy has. Like it's not unlike Tony. In fact, it's very like Tony to hold somebody's return off until the exact right storyline moment for them.
Yeah.
For all we know, Buddy's healthy and ready to go, and he's just being held off.
Yeah.
I do not have any source for that. Do not quote me. That's not a scoop. That's not news. That's conjecture. But it would not surprise me if, you know, this took Tony Khan by surprise, how over it was, riding it out, and he's going to flip the belts over to FTR when Buddy comes in and screws his former tag team partner over. What, you did this without me? I thought this was us. We were the Hounds of Hell. We were gonna forge a whole new path. We were just like a few months in, and I break my foot, and all of a sudden, you don't give a crap about me anymore. You couldn't wait. You couldn't wait for me. You know, I mean, that's probably the cliche thing to
I
do.
want to cheer Buddy so bad though. Like,
Honestly, what I would do, I would have that be an initial point of friction, but then have him join them and have them be a trio and
oh yeah,
build
I
a
would
trios
easily
gimmick.
add Buddy to that. Yeah, you could add Buddy to that, and it'd make a whole new dynamic and a really great trio.
Absolutely. I think they would do marvelous things as a trio,
Yeah, they probably would.
but they would probably fight like brothers before they, you know, came together. Is you, you got to have that Buddy versus Bandito match. You got to have that. How could you not have that? Like I'm salivating just thinking about
Yeah,
it.
it would be a great one.
That's a match for
Yeah,
the sickos right
those guys
there.
are so fucking strong, both of them. Like that would be crazy.
Jeez Louise, yeah.
Oh god, it'd be crazy. Imagine like the level of bumps coming out of that because of how hard they each hit and how far they
Yep.
go. Like, oh god, it'd be crazy.
You know what the funny thing is? Bandito is as physically powerful as Buddy Matthews looks.
Mhm.
Like
Easily.
it
Bandito weighs what Buddy Matthews looks like he weighs.
yeah, yeah,
Crazy, dude. Like how somebody that small is like so heavy and so strong.
right.
So I mean that was Dynamite and Collision leading
Yep.
into Wrestle Dream. And now we got Wrestle Dream. This is our Call It in the Ring segment this week. So we're covering Wrestle Dream 2025, and we're coming from the Heifetz Arena in St. Louis. Um, man,
Yeah, I think
this
we
shit
should
was
probably
fucking
go over
wild.
what happened really quick on the tailgate brawl,
Hmm.
since it is kind of relevant to what happens on the main show, at least at the
Yeah.
end.
Okay.
So, big 8-man tag conglomeration versus Death Riders. Uh, Death Riders win. Pac actually hits a flying knee for it
Yeah,
on what was it Ishii, I think,
I think Ishii. Yeah.
or Ishii. He carries around NJPW strong belt. Never gets announced as the champion and always takes the pin. Crazy.
Poor guy.
This ruled though. Loved it.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston and Hook versus Griff Garrison and Cole Carter of the Frat House.
Kingston and Hook
Kind
beat the shit out of these poor kids, man.
yeah. Well, they should keep coming to the match drunk, man. Like
Yeah.
rookie mistake.
That's what
Rookie
happens.
mistake. Who the hell is Griff Garrison? Uh probably the match of the pre-show though was Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. This match ruled. This was
Yeah,
a
it was really
great
good.
tag match, lots of fun. Um, Cameron and Willow get on like gangbusters and gel almost immediately. Uh, lots of false finishes and stuff. Ultimately, kind of predictably, Penelope Ford takes the pin from the Babe with Power Bomb from Willow. But yeah, great stuff. And then it ended, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's only like 10 minutes left on this thing to go
Yeah.
before the main show. And I know FTR and Jet Speed are gonna have a match. And then they announced it with like 4 minutes left. And they announced it as having a 30-minute time limit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And to their credit, they were so smart about this because they came out of the gate just full speed ahead, as if they were trying to get all their stuff in before the main show started. And to the point where you literally thought, oh, this could be a real quick one, like a really, really condensed, action packed quick one. But no. And the match is still going as it goes off the air in the 1 minute between the tailgate brawl and the main show. And then the main show goes on, and they're both members of FTR and both members of Jet Speed are in boo yay spots as there's pyro going off on the stage. I have never seen a pre-show match bleed into the main card, and
What a
it
way
was
to get
done
somebody to decide to
so
buy it.
well. Like, I mean, if I'm watching that on YouTube and I'm seeing this, I'm like, well, I gotta see the end of this match. Okay, I'll order the pay-per-view. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thought
Yeah.
process.
That would
Like,
have got
that's
me
the
to spend
selling
$50
point.
right there. Yeah. And that's crazy. But they were so good that I was like, yeah, like I would have spent $50
This was
right there.
this was a brilliant, brilliant way to kick it off. And I so just it set the mood for the entire show, for
Yeah.
unpredictability, for excitement, for action. This was just uh, I we got to see something we've never seen before. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible. And the match still went on for like another 15 minutes after that.
Hmm.
Like, it didn't end like right as the show stopped. No, they slowed the pace down a little bit and they kept going.
Yeah. They
And it was
I mean,
great. These guys have excellent chemistry because FTR has chemistry with literally everybody. And really, so does Jet Speed, to be honest.
yeah, they do. They
They're
do.
another thrown together tag team that really, really came together with an identity very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, they lose all the time, but they're still wicked over, which is great.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to want to put the belts on them before you break them up, I think. But right now, them losing to FTR with the old Bobby Heenan ravishing rude trick.
Oh, the foot grab. Yeah. Like I loved
Oh,
it. I was
it
like,
was,
oh,
what was it? It
stuck
was
being
SummerSlam
nasty.
'89, I think. They used
Yeah.
that finish. Oh, so good. Such a heel move. Oh, that little bastard stoked me.
Uh,
Oh, I loved it. I loved the match. I loved the finish. I loved the way they got there. Everything about this was almost picture perfect. Yeah, loved it.
After that, Tony Schiavone spent about 5 minutes with Charlie Thez, which was
Was
crazy.
really sweet.
I
It's
didn't
so
realize that
sweet.
like his wife was still alive.
I mean, me neither. Like, I mean, to be honest, I never gave thought to Lutez's wife ever.
Yeah,
But like,
ever.
I thought it was awesome that she was there and that they were catering to her. And
Yeah.
like this whole next match, they were trying to involve her in different ways. It was
Yeah.
it was
I was
fantastic.
half waiting on her to deck Tekla.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
she was gonna like
I would have loved it if she
it
had.
would have been hilarious.
I
Yeah.
thought that would have been fantastic.
But yeah, so everybody's banned from ringside, and we've got Jamie Hayter versus Tekla.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be honest, man. Going into this match, I was like, Tekla's definitely gonna win this.
I thought she had to.
That's what I
I'm
thought.
thinking like with blood and guts, like you want the baby faces to win blood and guts, right? So
Yeah.
you set it up with the heels continuing to build heat for for the blow off. They did not go in that direction, and I'm
Now,
kind of confused, honestly.
hold on. Is Blood and Guts is November 12th? Is that right?
Yep, yep.
Okay, so Full Gear is after that.
Hmm. Blood
So
and guts
yeah,
holding on to
this would
the
basically
tradition
be
of.
the last time they really face each other hard before Blood and Guts. But I bet they do anyway. I mean, actually,
I mean, they could.
I'm looking at the upcoming AEW events. You have to see how prominently Tekla is featured on pretty much every poster, all the way up to Blood and Guts.
I mean, that girl has aura, man. That girl is so cool.
Like the
Like
only
you,
person who's on is like
it doesn't surprise me.
okay, so there's like 5 posters between now and Blood and Guts that are already up on the website, right? For show.
Mhm.
Mostly Texas shows. Um the only Tekla's only missing from one, and she's in more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Even Tony Storm, even Kyle Fletcher, even Darby.
I mean, it's very clear that Tony is very happy that he hired her.
Yeah,
It was a good decision.
it
She
was.
wants to be there. She's the first of it. If you watch her AEW episode with RJ City, she seems to be the first of an entire generation of people who got into pro wrestling not with the dream of going to WWE, but the dream of specifically to make it to AEW. Like that, to have
Only
somebody like
5 years,
that
and
on
that's
your
already
roster,
happening.
yeah, like it's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you've got her, and she's super talented. She's like even like she's 5 foot like 2, and she has a personality of some like I would believe her against Megan Bain just by the way she carries herself.
I bet
Like
she
she
has a
just
deceptively tall knock.
yeah, yeah,
Dude,
it's true. Um, she just what do the kids call it? She's aura farming. Yeah,
dude, she's got a 7 foot tall aura.
yeah, like
She's
that's
standing next to Big Bill, and
sh-
I'd be like, they're the same height.
she makes her entrance. She makes her entrance, and you immediately are captivated by her.
uh,
You're like, who
dude,
is this?
not a lot of
This
people got
woman
a
is awesome.
got
So
a
cool.
hardcore metal band to write a song for them.
Yeah,
I honestly, uh,
it's probably her band, right? Like I
did,
know she's in one.
does she have a band? I
Yeah,
don't okay. I actually have to look into this because I need to know what
yeah.
band it is.
She's a punk rocker. She's an artist. She's a wrestler. She did ballet. Like there's nothing this woman can't do. Like
Called Necrosis.
yeah, yeah. You should see some of the titles of their songs.
No, it's Mikey.
Mikey.
Mikey
Oh, is
Ruckus
this
made her song,
that? I
which is
mean, great for
crazy.
her.
I thought it would be like some bigger band, like a fucking Suicide Silence or some shit like
That
that.
just
Like it,
that just goes to show Mikey's talent is that he can do pretty much anything
yeah.
in that
I mean,
studio.
I've only other ever heard like a metal version of one other wrestler song, and it was like a native or an indie guy from Dallas, and he was friends with Pantera, so they wrote his theme song and recorded it
Oh,
for
that's
him,
cool.
which was fucking pretty cool.
That's really cool.
But like that just the way that song and her aura and the way she makes her entrance and everything it just all comes together. Right
Yeah,
as she comes into the arena, and yeah,
she's it, man.
she's a
She's
1,000 feet
it.
tall, and just
Yeah, like I mean,
yeah,
from I didn't know anything about her before she debuted, really, and then she debuted, and I'm like, I mean, all she did was hit Jamie Hayter and then do the backbreak, but the way she commanded the presence, or her presence, and the way she commanded uh, uh the attention of camera specifically, like this girl knows what she's doing. Like
yeah,
immediately, like she's a 6 year vet, but like so it's not like she doesn't have some experience, but that's still kind of young in her career for her to be so good at TV wrestling.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's she, I mean, I could gush all day about her. Like, I
Mhm.
think that honestly, she's probably going to be the one to eventually dethrone Stat, and I think that's the right call.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, but yeah,
but
this match
it won't
was
be here
fucking
because she
yeah.
lost to Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, she totally lost to Jamie Hayter. It was a great match though. I mean, it's one of
It,
my
they
favorites of the
they
night for
beat the
sure.
crap out of each other.
Fuck yeah, they did that. Like they did more damage to each other than a lot of the men did in subsequent matches. Like they just kicked the shit out of one another.
Like
And
it's
it's
a
kind
kind
of
of a
what I expected.
it's kind of a bittersweet position that they're put in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way that women's wrestling is usually presented, they keep having to kind of break through one barrier at a time. This was the first time that there were two women's title matches on there and another women's match, and they were that women's match.
Yeah,
So they knew they had to come up and show out, or else it might not happen again.
yeah,
And so, on the one hand, it's getting to showcase how awesome they are, and on the other hand, they must be very stressed out about it. I would
yeah,
imagine, because of the implications of what if they don't deliver,
yeah.
which
Now,
sucks and it's
my
not fair. But I gotta say, I can't argue with the results. The results are great.
now, now, I this is my suggestion because I'm a glutton and I love wrestling, and I'm kind of a glutton for wrestling. I would suggest you add 2 hours of TV a week, and now I'm not saying give the women their own show. What I'm saying is add 2 hours of TV a week, and then dedicate 3 hours of each, an hour of each show to women's content. You don't have to do it like an hour and an hour. You can intersperse it like you already do and write the show regularly, but devote the same amount of time to each side. Period. Give everybody 3 hours a week for each of the different divisions. And then I would even, if you told me pay per views are going to be 2 hours longer than they already are, but then told me that 2 hours is going to be filled with the subsequent built matches from that additional 2 hours of women's content every week, and that we're going to have an equal amount of men's matches and women's matches on the pay per views.
Yeah, I can see
I will sit
the
down and
logic
watch the
in
shit
that.
for 6 hours. I will. I will. I will do
If
it.
they
If
were
it's
gonna
going to
do
be
that,
equal, I'll do it.
they better switch full time Saturdays at 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Saturdays
Like
at 3 from now
if they're
on.
gonna do that, they cannot be starting the show at 8 o'clock Eastern.
No.
They
No.
can't be doing that.
Mm-mm.
They've got to switch it
Sorry,
permanently to the
California.
afternoon.
Sorry, California, who's going to have to watch it at, like noon, but whatever. Sorry, guys. Like, I mean,
The
if you're going to
weekend.
add, if they said we're going to add 2 more hours to each pay per view and that 2 hours is going to be dedicated to women's wrestling, I'll watch the 6 hours
Yeah,
and I won't
yeah.
complain. I won't complain. And the reason I won't is because there is way too much talent in the women's division for them to be getting so little attention on television
Yeah.
and in the pay-per-views and shit like that. Like,
Yeah. I feel like they probably would need to still go on a little bit of a hiring spree, kind of just pad the numbers a little bit. But yeah, yeah.
I mean, we could pad the numbers a little bit, but yeah, we have like, I mean, there's enough of them that we've got a women's tag division now, and you're gonna tell me that we're gonna add a whole title and maintain the status quo?
Yeah, I'm right.
That don't
Sadly,
make
it's
sense.
not really up to I mean, not really up to them. Like the network would have to want that extra content.
I guess we're
You
gonna have to
can't
start
just
calling
petition
Warner
for it.
Discovery and petition for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's up to us to pressure them to do it
Yeah.
because
We
the
can, it's easier to pressure HBO. We can pressure HBO, who will in turn pressure WBD on our behalf.
yeah.
So let's pressure HBO to give them 2 additional hours, even if it's only on HBO. Like make it an HBO
Well, I don't.
exclusive.
I mean, you say that, but they still haven't taken those ice commercials down. So
Ah, yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean,
in
we'll get
theory,
there.
it's
We will
easier to
get
do
there.
that.
We will get there with the ice ads. I don't think that's. I actually don't think that's HBO. I think that's fucking TBS or TNT or whoever. I think it's one of them. I don't think it's HBO welcoming the Ice Ass because you don't see them anywhere else on their platform. It's only during the broadcasts of AEW where they show commercials from the live TV.
Yeah, there's that.
So I'm pretty sure that's a TNT thing or a TBS thing. So we might be bitching at the wrong fucking people, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Well, it's the same parent company, so like you
Yeah.
said, if you
Maybe we need
go
to
to
go
one,
straight to
get
the
the
parent
other.
company with that then, because I mean I've been bothering the people at HBO and it might not even be their fault.
Yeah.
Now back to the pay per view. We're at a $500,000 match for Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks, and this is the fucking funniest shit. The $32.17 bucks. Um,
Yeah, let me. I got the graphic in front of me. So they did a thing for the Young Bucks entrance where they did a list of all of their expenses from the last $500,000 that they won.
yeah,
So this is expense report / account balance. Suits, sneakers, 2000 what $62,879.23 on suits and sneakers.
it's a
Pyro
car,
and
dog.
music pyro and music. $86,117.35. Like, why is that not included? Like, what? Why are you having to pay AEW to AEW? This is a cost that AEW has already incurred that they put in their budget. I don't understand that.
Not for the Young
Brown's
Bucks.
trip to Nashville, $1,000, $1,287.56. That is the most reasonable thing on this list.
Yeah,
The round trip to Nashville, depending on where they were flying. Boxing, Velcro wall, wrestling, which is a very strange combination of things to put in one category. Velcro wall, $49,000, $49,250 even. Party, just party, $53,349. This is the kicker right here for me. Horizon virtual reality, $100,000 even. What? What even? What is that supposed to? I don't. Is that an inside joke? Is that a thing? Is that like a special thing? Are they getting AI hookers? What's going on? I don't understand.
I have no
Miscellaneous,
idea.
which usually is the last one, but I don't understand. But it's the second to last one here. Miscellaneous, $85,267.69, and then the last thing is casino,
Mm-hmm.
$97,142, which is only the second most expensive thing next to Horizon Virtual Reality. Total expenses $499,967.83, with their current balance remaining sitting at $32.17.
Oh man, the fact that it was just playing like the unauthorized transaction shit over and over again, like I was like, oh, this is fucking so hilarious. Oh, I was like losing my shit watching this last night.
Yeah,
It was
like
pretty funny.
I don't. It was great. I loved their reaction to it too, because you didn't at first you thought at some point that noise was going to just stop, and then
Mm-hmm.
you were going to either get no music or their music, and then they come out onto the stage and you realize, oh no, that's just their music for this match is
Yeah,
that noise.
yeah, just Oh, it was fucking hilarious. And then Nick Jackson stopped and like took a picture with a fan who was trying to give him like a fan offered him $20 to take a picture, so he stopped and got the $20.
I have a funny story about that. I think I interacted with that guy earlier today, or not with that guy, but about that guy earlier that day on Blue Sky. Somebody was somebody posted that they had a sign that they hoped the Young Bucks would see, and that it was, a take a photo. It's for $20. Somebody reposted that. I posted to them what they should do is scoff at the beginning of the match, thinking, "Oh, we're just gonna win 500, $500,000 at the end of this anyway." And then once they lost, to go back to that fan and say, "Hey, is that offer still good?" I thought that would have been hilarious, but they clearly had other plans post match for this.
Yeah.
Um, this match was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. This
God,
was
it was
kind of an
so long.
epic length match, honestly.
Yeah. It was so long. Yeah, like I mean, I'm not, and that's not a bad thing. It was a really great match, man, but it was fucking
Uh,
long.
Cl- Cliff Notes, Luchasaurus was super over,
Hottest
super de
tag
duper
ever.
over. Yeah, holy cow. They hit the assisted Fear Factor. The Bucks did, and I mean, obvious nod to the Lucha Bros. And Jack Perry kicked out of it.
Yeah.
Jack Perry kicked out of the BTE trigger as well.
That
Like
was crazy. I was like, oh, he's
I,
definitely done right
there were
there. And then he kicked out.
so many good near falls in this,
Oh
especially
yeah.
towards the end. I bit on that BTE trigger too. I
Yeah.
thought,
I was like, damn
ooh,
it, they did it. Oh, and then he kicked out. I was like,
yo,
what the But also the camera angle they showed right before they did the BT trigger, it looked like Luchasaurus was getting up and was gonna come and make the save. And I was like, oh, he might make the save here. But when he kicked out, that surprised me. I was like,
yeah,
okay, all right.
yeah, like everything. There was so much going on here. They kept on commentary. They did a great job of putting over. This was where this same arena was where the Lucha Brother or no, Jurassic Express lost their World Tag Team title to the Young Bucks, and that
Ooh,
they had never before beaten the Young Bucks. So when they did here, there was extra significance to everything.
yeah.
And then so yeah, like Countdown to Extinction, that rolling, power bomb thing that they do, which always looks awesome, and I just don't know how to describe it other than that.
Yeah, it's like a vaulted rolling power bomb. It's
Yeah,
weird. I'm not
it
sure how to
looks
describe it exactly
it
either.
looks great.
Yeah.
Um, this was great. I think everybody was really invested in it. I think that even though, from a character standpoint, Jurassic Express still kind of needs to find what makes their new version, unique or whatever. The match definitely over delivered, in my opinion. I thought this was, I mean, this is in contention for match of the night. Like this was, oh, this was a great, 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 great.
Yeah, it was really good, man. I had a good time watching it. This was well, yeah, one of the more fun matches. Like this one and the Tekla hater match so far were like favorites of mine for sure. Um,
Afterwards, though, they did some more angle building, which was cool. Um, oh yeah, members of the Don Callis family come out to attack Jurassic Express after the Express tried to like kind of mend fences a little bit with the Bucks,
yeah,
even handed them some money. Uh, but they get blindsided by who's it? Mark Davis, Josh Alexander, and Lance Archer, I think.
Lance Archer. Yeah,
And uh, the Bucks don't help them beat Jurassic Express down, but they don't save. They just kind of walk off, kind of conflicted, but like, this ain't my fight. And that's when Kenny Omega's music hits, which is great because Kenny didn't have a match on the card, which
yeah,
was like, it was weird. It was weird to think that he didn't have a match on this card, that he didn't have a spot, but it was good, in my opinion, that they gave him this spot. He comes down halfway down the ramp, meets the Young Bucks there. He's like, well, are you going to go? Are you going to save him after how they treated you after the match? And the Young Bucks kind of hesitate. And Omega's like, okay, well, I'm going to do it. And then he does. And then the baby faces clean house. And it's great.
yeah. It was pretty great. And then like on the way out, Omega picks up somebody's red scarf and a Noki Forever sign and
Oh, that was
holds
so
that
good.
up.
A lot of people keep forget that the first Wrestle Dream was designed as an Inoki tribute show initially.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see not only that Omega was keeping that spirit alive, but that there were people in that audience that were keeping that spirit alive. I think that was really, really cool.
Yeah. After that, we have our Tornado Trios #1 contender match with the Hurt Syndicate versus the Demand. The Demand kicked it off pretty quickly by jumping the Hurt Syndicate during their entrance, and it just went from there. This was every piece of this was every bit of a hardcore match and not a goddamn tornado match.
Yeah.
And they just really went for it. It really wasn't that long though before we kind of got a callback where we've got Ricochet in the ring and he's surrounded by the Hurt Syndicate. But then Bishop Khan pulls him out, stands up, and I think what we're gonna get is like Bishop Khan fighting off the Hurt Syndicate, and then
No, he just takes the Ricochet bullet.
he takes the bullet and gets pinned. Yeah, like they just beat him up like they would have Ricochet. Like I thought it was going to change something, but it
I
really
thought
didn't.
everything that led up to that was good though, because Demand methodically kind of took out Bobby Lashley and uh, Shelton Benjamin on the outside so that they could focus on
Yeah,
MVP in the ring for a few minutes. And then obviously the baby faces. And they are baby faces now. And that will be
yeah,
further entrenched later in the card.
yes,
Spoilers free. But just by comparison, they don't really, and the thing about their characters is that they're those great characters that don't need to do much. They just kind of change who they're fighting,
yeah, yeah.
and all of a sudden and people have been cheering for them their entire heel act. So like this is I wouldn't say overdue, but it's about time.
No, I mean,
You know.
the thing is, like, even if Bobby Lashley isn't universally loved, MVP and Shelton Benjamin are
Yeah.
universally loved, and
By
so
probably two different crowds, but yes.
yeah, and so we're not like. I'm not gonna boo Shelton Benjamin. Like,
Nope.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it.
No,
I'm just not
gonna do that.
I also interact with MVP pretty often on Blue Sky. He's a super nice dude, and we bond over like hardcore music and shit. And like, we both have pretty similar tastes in like punk music and stuff like that. And like, so am I gonna boo MVP, who I like actually like one of the very few wrestlers I actually interact with on fucking social media and interacts back and is like a nice person? Fuck no, I'm not gonna boo him. So,
I mean,
no.
if he wants you to boo him, there's a logic there that you
It's
should.
different if he wants to be booed, but he doesn't really. Even when they were playing heels, he didn't seem like he
didn't
wanted
really
to be
seem to
booed.
care one way or the other.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I mean, as a heel character, he'd probably be like, "It doesn't matter if they cheer me or boo me."
Yeah,
But as
it's
a
just
face
gonna hurt
character,
people either way.
he's yeah. As a face character, he's like, "We're gonna hurt people, and these people are gonna cheer us." Like
Yeah,
so. But this was, I thought the match was really good. But that GOA takes the fucking Khan takes the fall, and so now the Hurt Syndicate are the #1 contenders to the trios title. Let's see here.
Next is the TNT Championship.
Yeah, the TNT Championship.
Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe, 5 tiebreaker rubber match. I'm gonna let you take this one because if we're being completely honest, when I was watching this show, because of various things that were happening at home, I was delayed in watching this by like 2 hours. So like I was able to watch the pre-show and then stuff got interrupted for like 2 hours and then I started watching at 10. So by the time I got to this match, I was kind of starting to doze. So I was in and out of this match. So I can't really, and I haven't had time to go back and watch it. So I'll let you cover this because you have a more complete memory of it, I imagine. I woke up for Tony. Don't get me wrong. I woke up fully for Tony and then stayed that way. But this one was my in and out match, sadly.
Well, so basically, for the beginning of this match, we basically followed the typical Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher match formula. I mean, they basically beat the shit out of each other for like the first 10, 15 minutes with most of their typical, their regular stuff. The kicks in the corner, the draping DDTs, Mark Briscoe's, redneck kung fu and all that good stuff. But then we started getting, like they started getting chairs involved. We kind of escalated like we would typically do for a pay-per-view match of this type. But then it became increasingly clear that neither one of them was going to be put away by, just crashing them through a chair or something like that. So then they started going on like a finishing move spree. And this kind of bothered me a little bit because like Mark Briscoe got 3 froggy bows and a J driller and didn't
no win off of any
get
of
the
it.
win. He was actually when Fletcher.
Well, I saw the J driller on the apron. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, he got the J driller, but then Fletcher, Fletcher kicked out, which was crazy. But then he was going for a cutthroat driver, which we go even deeper into the lore for that cutthroat driver.
Super finisher.
Yeah. And while he was setting him up for the cutthroat driver, that's where Fletcher escaped. Because he grabbed a hold of Paul Turner and escaped.
Paul.
And he got Paul Turner to turn around. Like he tried to throw Briscoe into Paul Turner, and that made Paul Turner recoil and like turn around so he wasn't watching. And then he low blowed Briscoe and then hit him with that sheer drop brainbuster and a particularly nasty one and put him out. I thought it was great until the end. I really thought we should have put this title on Briscoe and just go ahead and do it. And
I mean, we talked about it earlier. It's a tough situation because like you don't really Kyle's such a hot hand right now that you kind of want him to continue with the belts and really, really do something with it. And you don't want to cut him off the knees. Like he's only had that belt for like 2 months. You don't want to build him up just to, cut him off in 2 months. At the same time, Mark Briscoe really deserves and needs to be elevated at this point. And just like, I mean, he beat MJF. That's a former world champion. Now he's losing to the TNT champion.
Yeah, it's weird to me.
It's this weird seesaw with Mark Briscoe. Like, I really hope he has a good Continental Classic. I mean, it's very clear to me that finals of that is going to be Okada and Takeshita. Like, I don't think anything else is justified at this point. But I really hope that Mark Briscoe at least makes it to like the semis.
Yeah.
And then, maybe he faces Takeshita and he just barely loses to Takeshita and Takeshita shows him respect afterwards to kind of further foreshadow his imminent babyface turn. You know?
And then, they can do with Okada whatever they want to do with Okada.
Yeah.
Like, because we all know that the blow off of that is going to be at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
And Takeshita will defend successfully against Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah. I think the writing is on the wall for that one.
And may likely get close to killing him in the process.
Probably.
Because that's probably going to be the main event. In the last couple of years, the main event of Wrestle Kingdom has been like a brutal affair.
The only way I could see Okada winning is if Don Callis somehow hasn't turned on Takeshita before Wrestle Kingdom, shows up to corner both guys, and then makes his decision to side with Okada in that match and gets in there with a screwdriver or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only way I see Takeshita losing that match.
Yeah. But I don't think Takeshita is gonna lose that match.
Like
I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Don Callis is still, if Takeshia's still with Don Callis by that point, that's your tell that he's dropping the belt to Okada. But other than that, it's a done deal. Takeshita names.
I don't think NJPW is gonna hang that title off Okada again.
No, I don't know.
I think there's probably some trust issues.
Fully
there. AEW. Yeah. They're not gonna do that. He's not. Yeah.
At the very least, there may be this outsider kind of feeling among NJPW fan base, the actual native fan base
Mhm.
towards Takeshita. But at the very least, he's under contract.
Yeah.
He's under a 3-way contract
Yeah. I
with
don't think
that
Tanahashi's going to put that on
DDT.
anybody that's
No,
not contracted.
nope.
No.
So, like, even if he feels like an outsider, at least he's on the books for them.
Yeah. He's their guy.
So,
So, I mean, yeah, of course. Like, I mean, yeah. Um, I think there's a lot coming for both of these guys, Briscoe and Fletcher. I'm kind of excited to see where we go from here, or if we get
yeah.
more of these two. I'm okay with either way. But after that, we got our AEW Women's World Championship, Statlander versus Tony Storm. And I know you
Yeah.
got opinions, so go ahead,
I,
man.
I do I do have I uh I thought the match was great, with the exception of, like, there was one point in, like, towards, like, the beginning middle part of the match where Stat was just dominating, just a little too much. I thought, like, Tony's your 4-time women's champion. She's the biggest star that you have in your women's division and arguably your entire roster. Like, I know you're trying to make a new star with Stat. I respect that. And that's the right call. Absolute correct call. But, like, I felt like Tony was maybe a little too giving in that that particular part, because she didn't look like she didn't know what she was doing. She looked like she was a jobber. Like, that's not, if the story is you can't figure out this puzzle, it should be, I can't figure out this puzzle, not I'm getting my ass kicked because I'm inferior. And that, unfortunately, during a certain part of this match, and that may be my bias talking, full disclosure, that may be my bias. But, like, I felt like Chris got a little bit too much into, like, the little, like, maybe 5 to 8 minute mark. Like, come on here. This is getting to be a drubbing. To, like, this should be more even when you're dealing with somebody the stature of Tony Storm.
Yeah.
That said, the rest of the match was great. I loved the handspring counter to the Storm Zero. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh, fantastic! What an athlete Chris Statlander is. Like, just, she's so creative too. Um, I loved that. I loved the finish, actually, that Tony would not submit, like the true freaking hero, stubborn baby face that she is. She was in that, whatever head scissors, like, she still didn't have a name for it. Stat needs to come up with a name for that.
Yeah.
But for her, that submission, I'm glad it wasn't to the seatbelt. I think we're
Yeah.
past that point of the story. Chris Statlander should never do the seatbelt again unless she's facing Wheeler Yuta and using it on him.
Yeah.
Um, we're past that point in the story where she needs to use it to sow seeds of doubt about her character. We don't need it anymore. I'm glad that she had her in there for, like, what seemed like it must have been at least 2 minutes. Like, if she was in that for an eternity in the center of the ring, and she's like, "You're gonna have to freaking kill me." And at that point, she relinquishes the hold and hits her with a second Saturday Night Fever. And I thought that was worthy of Tony Storm. And that was absolutely a way to showcase Stat and her relentlessness, her adaptability, her versatility. Like, they did a great job making a star out of her. Um, I thought this. I don't know if you can put Statlander over better than how they did it here. Honestly,
Yeah.
this put her over way more than her title win.
Yeah. I thought so too.
Like, this was what she needed.
Yeah.
And for the record, who's been calling this for freaking months? Who's been calling this for months? Your boy's been calling this for months. Your boy's been calling this for months. You can go back a few weeks and see how Aaron and I both booked the women's Tag Team Championship tournament to crown inaugural women's tag team champions for AEW. We both had Mina tagging with Tony, and we both have them winning the whole thing. In order to do that, everything that happened in this match and the next match needed to happen and fall like dominoes to put all the pieces into place. It was such a wonderful bit of booking, and
Yep.
it was really just, it could not have been done better. It could not have been done better. The next match, I mean, as Tony Storm, she's you know, Stat is celebrating her win. She goes up to Tony Storm. Tony hugs her. Like, I mean, right away, too. There's no prolonged, moment of hesitation or self-pity or whatever, although she is feeling sorry for herself. But she hugs her, like a really nice long hug, and she gets out of the ring. Stat's left in the ring, and all of a sudden, whose music hits but Mercedes Moné,
Ugh.
who comes. I didn't think they were going to run two women's matches back to back like this,
I didn't think so either.
much less in the order that they did. But the order makes sense with how they did it. So in comes Monet, who this time her special entrance is having the still drunken frat house carry all of her belts to the ring to uh, cash in on the she beat Persephone the night before at CMLL to retain the CMLL Women's Championship, to which then she made an open challenge to any champion to come at her to trade belt for belt with the TBS title on the line. And she kind of shoos Chris Statlander away, and gives her the side eye, but lets her have her moment, kind of with the side eye looking. She calls out, and it's Mina who answers. She puts her interim ROH Women's Television Championship on the line. The match was hard hitting. I like that with each successive match that she has as she collects belts, Monet is giving more and more to her opponents to give the impression that the more she takes on, the harder it is for her to hold on to this.
Yeah.
And to keep the momentum going. I thought that Mina was absolutely the right opponent for her, not just for storyline reasons, but for the match. Like Mina's very deceptively physical in there.
Yeah.
She has this presentation where she's this uh what do they call them in Japan? These idol girls, right?
Yeah.
Where she's super. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She goes out there. She has the sexy get up and the dance moves and the presentation that she's very, very comfortable with her sexuality and everything. But yet, that woman will hit in the face, and she
Yeah.
will do it for real. Like
Yeah.
that woman is tough. I mean, they don't make soft joshis.
No.
They just don't. It's not a part of the brand. Uh, Mina is deceptively tough and physical in there, and Mercedes needs more opponents like that to push her.
Yeah.
I mean, because she's already at an incredible level, but like these matches will make her better, and she seems to be the kind of person who wants that challenge too. She wants to get in there and mix it up with as many different types of women and styles that she can. She's been in there with Mina before, but Mina was definitely more in charge of this match than the previous outing. And like, unlike their last match, Monet had to cheat this time to beat her. Backslide, which I hate. I hate backslides so freaking much. I hate it. I freaking hate it. What is this, 1977? Get the backslide out of here. But she had her foot on the rope and she wins. She's already broken the TBS title length record. She's beaten the belt record set by Ultimo Dragon. She's now Ultimo Monet. And now we can finally start the dissolving of this. Get your picture, get your Ultimo Dragon picture,
Mhm.
and then let it all fall apart. And I think that happens when she loses to Statlander because they're setting up for that match because Monet Stat is now the world champion, is a higher tier than the TBS champion,
Yeah.
but she's never beaten Monet. She's lost to her twice in the last calendar year.
Yeah.
Great matches. And then Monet, there's no other mountain left for her to conquer than the world title, and she's in a great position to challenge for it again. She'll put Stat over,
Mhm.
and then she'll start losing belts,
Yeah.
and then she'll start falling apart. And that's what I want to see. Like that, I'm so glad that she's been afforded the opportunity to break records and to do it doing what she loves when her previous place of employment did not see the same kind of worth in her that AEW and clearly literally dozens of indie promotions all over the world see in her. I know
Yeah.
that you're not like the biggest fan of her, and I accept that. You don't have to be. I'm super happy. Especially since she had the most iconic fit on last night too. She walked in there with the outfit that inspired by the Selena Houston concert. She even had the bangs. It was she was Selena. I'm like, I love Mina, but I'm not rooting against Selena. Like, it's not in me. It's not in me, Aaron. It's not in. I was so excited when I saw that. I was jumping up and down in my bed as I was watching it with my wife. I'm like, she's Selena. She's Selena. She's Selena. And then she won, and it was great. It was absolutely great. But now Mina also has no belt.
Yeah.
Tony has no belt. Tony, in a segment later on in the show, will be approached by Renee and is catatonic when she's asked about, where does she go from here now that she's well and fully out of the world title contention. Mina comes up and says, "We have each other." And there's your setup. You needed
Yep.
to do this not only to set Stat up and not only to set Mercedes up for that, but to clear the runway for Mina and Tony to have nothing to do but this. Focus on this. They will make excellent first world tag team champions in the women's division.
Yeah.
Now, I have gone on talking for way too long without letting you speak because I'm so excited. You get this next one, and I will shut the hell up.
The next one is our World Tag Team Championship match with Brodito versus the Unified Champion Kazuchika Okada and the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Konosuke Takeshita. Um, man, I couldn't really have asked much more from this match than what they gave me.
It blew my. I had high expectations, and it blew them out of the water.
Yeah, it blew it
This
way out
match
of the
was all
water for me.
story too.
Yeah, it was all story. Mostly the story of Takeshita and Okada finally having their break from one another. Where it's not just tension anymore. Now it's outright anger and hatred and forthcoming. Yeah, of Okada. Okada's no longer being sneaky. He hit Takeshita with a rainmaker and then gave him the finger. Like Okada
Yeah,
is
like
not sorry he did
he
that
hit him
shit.
with it by accident, but he wasn't sorry that he did it.
No, he's not sorry at all. And then he gave him the finger. So
Yeah,
like he kind of reinforced like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, but it doesn't matter. I did it anyway. But apart from that, the other side of the story was Bandito's shoulder and Brody King's dance moves. I said this weeks ago, they're gonna make us pay to see Brody King do the fucking Macarena, and here we are. We
yep,
paid to watch
I
Brody
did.
King do the Macarena. I
I
totally
did
did.
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Not, I'm not disappointed in my purchase.
No, me neither. Now, I mean, we also saw a lot of other big spots like a 4-man German suplex. which seemed like it
Ludicrous.
went horribly wrong at the end. Although,
Yeah, I mean,
really, with that many guys, how could it go right?
I think it went as well as it could.
Yeah, as well as it probably could. Bandito getting a
Physics are
20.
still a thing.
Yeah. Bandito gets a 21 plex with one arm,
One
which
arm
was wild.
and pinned Okada.
Yeah, and Okada took the pin.
Yeah,
That's the
like
wildest part, man.
that going into this, I knew that Brodito was going to win, but the
Yeah.
question was who was going to take the loss, because on the one hand you have Okada, who's been super duper protected. On the other hand, Takeshita just got crowned IWGP
Yeah,
World Heavyweight Champion.
once
You're
that happened,
really,
I knew he couldn't take the L. Like,
I mean, yeah, like to me, it was almost even footing with the reverence that they've shown Okada to this point. So the
yeah.
fact that they did decide to pin Okada with a one-armed 21 plex, like, to me, that says a lot of different things. Most notably that they were, I mean, it just reinforces that Tony Khan loves Brodito probably more than anybody else on the roster right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he really does love Brodito. I mean, but so do we. So, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like a big deal that they did this. But it is, I mean, Okada took the pin. That's a big thing. Probably bigger than most people understand that it is, because he hasn't really
Yeah.
taken a pin since he's been here. And
I think the only one he took was to Kyle Fletcher in the Continental Classic last year after that low blow.
yeah, yeah,
I think that may be the only one.
it might be. I would have
Like,
to
I think
check on
he's
that, but I think it
lost
might
some
be.
tag matches, but he wouldn't have taken the fall.
No, he's not the guy who took the pin on anything else that he's got an L for. So,
Yeah.
after that, we've got our Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa thing that we've already talked about. And then after that, we've got our World Championship match, Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe. And man, oh man, they
You want to
fucking
talk about beating the brakes off each other?
dude, they beat the brakes off each other. I mean, I expected this because it was Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of expected with Hangman because he goes pretty hard, but Samoa Joe is just like the king of beating your ass. And
Yep.
he gave everything he could to Paige, and Paige still managed to bring out the win.
And Joe was very protected in his loss too. Like, it took 3 buckshots to even get him off his feet, let
Yeah,
alone pin him. Like, this was they're very much telling you that Samoa Joe is still the guy, and the crowd in St. Louis was honestly a bit more split than I thought they would.
yeah. I didn't think they would be so split, but they definitely were. There was definitely a vocal group of fucking Joe fans who wanted him to win this match. And I don't really blame him. I mean, Joe's a good world champion, but I don't think they're going to take it off Hangman this early. Still,
No, God, no.
I feel like it's going to be a while before we see a
Yeah,
different world.
I don't think we get it off him until at least we change a calendar year.
Yeah,
Like,
at least that.
we got to get into 2026 before we start talking about seriously about, okay, who's going to be the next guy. He has to make it to the end of the year.
However, I think we might see a couple more with Hangman and Joe, because this is going to turn into a blood feud now that the Ops have turned heel.
Did not see that coming
Yeah,
either.
didn't either.
I thought this was going to be a one and done, and they were going to move on to something else. And I thought that if they were going to run it back with Joe, that the Ops were going to be at the very best, being like, oh, really? But we like Hanger. You got to be this way. All right, whatever. Like they have been leading up to this point. But
Yeah,
no, they are all in with Joe. They are
yeah,
absolute. I have never seen. Well, no, not never, but I have rarely seen Shibata so angry.
dude,
Like,
yeah.
he was just a man on a mission during this beatdown.
I'm
He
ready
was,
for heel
ooh,
Shibata, man. I'm ready for
oh yeah,
brutal heel Shibata. I want to see
give
him
it to
pick
me.
people apart, dude. Yeah, I want it all day long.
Give it to me.
Give me that
With
freaking crazy Bizarro Inoki.
I was blown away. Like, I didn't think that the entirety of the op confirmed.
Yeah,
That blew me away. So now the question is, going into Dynamite, since the Ops are putting their trios title on the line against the Hurt Syndicate now. They're newly heel. Hurt Syndicate are newly babyface. What do?
I don't
Do you
know,
switch the
man.
belt over to the Hurt Syndicate because people like them? Or do you re-entrench the heel turn by having them get a really impressive win over a trio in the Hurt Syndicate that not many people have been able to beat?
Yeah, that's a rough
Like,
choice right there, man. You get the Ops and
right?
the Hurt Syndicate. It's like, oh, fuck.
Like, I honestly, I'm not a betting,
No.
but like if I were laying down the odds, I'd give them even odds. I couldn't
Yeah,
call. This is a coin flip for me.
yeah, basically. Tony Khan's got the book. He's flipping the notebook next to his desk.
Yeah, like, geez Louise. I mean, what I do know is that it's appointment viewing for Wednesday.
Yeah, definitely is. It definitely is. I'm definitely gonna
I'm
be watching this AEW.
absolutely invested in that and seeing where that goes.
Yeah. After that, we've got Mercedes Monet challenging Chris Statlander for Full Gear for her world
Yep.
title. And this is probably like you were talking about before, where we're going to see the start of the downfall of Mercedes Monet.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, she's beaten the record, 2
yeah,
records.
she's
There's
already done the
nowhere
things.
she's already done the things. There's nowhere else to go but down.
Yeah, and it's about time, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I'm not mad at her reign. I get it. I honestly get it. You bring somebody in, you pay them that much money, you're gonna put a rocket up their ass and shoot them to the moon. That's how it
And
works. It's
let's
wrestling.
be real here. I mean, her having all those title belts gets people wondering at the very least about what those promotions that she's the champion of, and maybe gets, even if it gets 10 new sets of eyes on that promotion, those are 10 new fans for those. A lot of them are fledgling promotions
Yeah,
in Europe that really need that boost. Like, she's a really good investment for those people. Like, she's done a really good thing for
yeah.
professional wrestling.
And now she's gonna come in and put their champion over
Yeah.
for them to probably read because 9 out
Yeah.
of 10 of those belts are going right back where they came from.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Person and all. Like, so what she's
Yeah.
gonna do now is she's gonna go in and put that person over. And so now we've created all these like legitimate women's champions all over the world who have defeated Mercedes Monet, the premier women's champion in the world. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, as much as she's not the AEW women's champion, she's not a WWE women's champion of any kind. Like, she's still like she's got 11 belts.
She's not a world champion, but she's a global champion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would go so far as to say that having 11 belts makes you a fucking world champion,
Yeah. I
especially as
mean,
spread out
yeah.
as they all are across the planet.
I mean, CMLL belt is a world title belt, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. See that is a world title.
So
There's a couple that there's at least one other that she's wearing that is a legitimate world title. So like she is at least a 2-time world champion on this run.
yeah.
Even if it's not AEW world champion, and they're not going to play that up on TV because she's
Yeah.
their TBS champion. But still, I mean, she's going out there and she's going to create a bunch of like legitimate competitors. It'd be a great way to pad out some of the AEW ranks. Like, hey, we need somebody to make a surprise appearance here. Oh, hey, let's pull the champion from this indie fed because we can be like, hey, look, this is their champion. She beat Mercedes for that belt.
Yeah.
And then you
Instant
got
credibility.
11 of those,
Instant credibility.
instant
Yep.
credibility 11 times over. So, yeah, I'm ready to see how this goes, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm with you. I think Chris Statlander's going to beat her at Full
Yeah,
Gear.
Chris
So.
Statlander's gonna beat her. She's still gonna keep all her belts. And then you know what I would do?
Mm.
I would have her have an open challenge for the interim TV champion. Have Red Velvet, the actual TV champion, come in and beat her in like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. You instantly reestablished Red Velvet and pushed her to the moon for the
Yeah.
record. And you have Mercedes given this opportunity to freak the hell out, which is always fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts the downfall on AEW television.
Yeah.
Specifically, like that's kind of the linchpin of this angle, is that it needs to kind of happen. It needs to start on AEW television.
Yeah.
If it happens in these other feds, well, I mean, they don't get TV. We're not seeing that. We need to see the start of it. So it needs to be that. And I would be the TBS. I would think the TBS championship would be the last one she loses. The first one she got, last one she loses.
Yeah. Who to, no telling. But there's a lot of
Yep.
good candidates.
Yep.
So now here we are at our main event, and the part that I really wanted to talk about, our I Quit match with Darby Allin versus John Moxley, and holy fuck. I'm just gonna say off the bat that John Moxley is probably far less sore today than Darby Allin.
Yep.
I would almost bet that's true.
Yep.
However, those 3 or 4 bad shots at the end probably gave him a significant amount of soreness.
Yeah.
But still, compared to what Darby endured, still not much. Like,
yeah. I would say that probably Moxley went through more in his Texas Death Match with Hanger than he did here.
Yeah. I don't feel like Moxley took a lot of punishment here, but I guess he took it where it mattered.
Yeah. Match starts with Darby bringing the flag out. It was like it just setting the table. You know, like this is what we're fighting for in this now. Moxley beats the crap out of him, like pretty much sustained for about 3 or 4 minutes on the outside.
They kicked the rope up into Allen's ear and almost tore Darby Allen's ear off. Did you see that part?
And that was after hitting him in the face with a chain.
Yeah.
Wrapped around his fist.
He like bloodied up his mouth with the chain, then kicked the ropes while it was in between his teeth. And then he kicked the rope again while his head was near, but it just caught the back of his ear. And like you could see where like there was a tear down the back of his ear. Because I mean that rope can legitimately, like, and the mat too, can legitimately just take your ear clean off your head. It can.
Just ask Mick Foley.
Ask Mick Foley, or my wrestling coach from high school, happened to him too. Where those mat, like he rolled his head on the mat and it just took his ear clean off. Like he had his ear still, but
cartilage is flexible, but it's not strong.
No, it's not strong. It'll just tear clean off. No. Not a lot of pressure. Takes less pressure to tear off your ear than it does your sack. For those of you who don't know, and that's not a lot. It's only 8 ounces of pressure for that one. So
didn't need to know that.
Well, you got to be careful in wrestling, man.
Yeah, I thought the one that got me was the skewers underneath the fingernails.
Underneath the fingernails. I almost forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me, Dick. God.
How could you forget? I mean, unless you're actively repressing.
I'm actively repressing that shit probably because I'm not cool. I'm not good with torture, dude. Watching torture, like methods, like I'm not one of those like faces of death type dudes who are like, oh, I gotta, no. You start doing shit like that, and I'm cringing. I'm looking away.
Like,
Same as when they did the Jeff Hardy ear thing, or like last time when they did the fork in the ear with Darby. Like I'm just looking away when that shit's happening. I can't do it. I can't.
I guarantee you that they did it in a manner that was all illusory and was safe. But it looked really convincing, and just the idea of it.
Yeah.
I needed to not look at that.
No.
I needed to not look at that.
The only question I have about that is like, if we're going to be smart about our wrestling, how are you going to put Darby in that position right there with John Moxley doing what he's doing? And Darby ain't going to reach up and punch him in the nuts because he's right there. I mean, you look at how they were like, he was right there. Darby could have just been like, Falcon punch, and it's over.
See, this is my issue with the conceit of an I Quit match. Like, how has nobody ever just repeatedly hit somebody in the ball over and over again and won? What, honor? It's an I Quit match.
Yeah, it's an I Quit match.
There's no such thing as honor.
One of these guys tried to drown the other, and nobody kicked each other in the balls.
Yeah.
That's the part that's getting me. Like, Marina hit Darby in the balls.
Yeah.
But it was Marina. It wasn't John. But that's the thing. Like, John Moxley is driving a foot-long stake made out of bamboo up on like basically giving you like
Ugh.
some Viet Cong level torture. You're right next to his ball sack, and you aren't gonna reach up with your free hand and like punch or literally anything. Like you
Yeah.
got all the options in the world at that point.
The only thing I can think of is that it would be too dangerous to try, because
Mm,
even though they were trying to do it safely, it was probably close enough where something could have gone wrong if he moved in the wrong direction or jerked in a
yeah.
direction accidentally while trying to reach out. And I would much rather fall through a table than get a bamboo skewer up my fingernail.
Oh,
100%.
I've done one. I'll
100%.
not do the other. I will
Yeah.
not do one of those things, and I have done the other one. So
Yeah.
and table shit is not like I don't know about out on the concrete because I'm not fucking that
Yeah.
dumb, and I like preserving my back and neck for future generations.
Yeah.
But I have taken one in the ring, and it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. But I bet you that Death Rider through the table fucking hurt
I'll bet. Yeah.
off the ring
Like,
apron. Holy
geez,
fuck, man.
I mean, there was so much stuff going on in this match. Like, Darby had brought a whole backpack full of, I don't want to say
Goodies.
goodies, I guess
Goodies.
baddies, and
The
not the
backpack full of
Jade
baddies.
Cargill kind.
Right?
Uh,
Although that would be awesome. Backpack full of baddies.
I mean, it'd have to have like TARDIS technology to fit them all in
I'm
there.
okay
But
with that.
yeah, I'm not
Bigger on
opposed.
the inside.
Oh,
Just put the backpack down and hop in myself.
are you bigger on the inside? Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, like at one point, Moxley uh decides that he's actually gonna reach in there, and he pulls out. Darby had brought a taser,
oh, yeah, because of
and
course.
then he tases him in the stomach, and I'm like, I'm glad that this was like shielded so that we didn't see how fake it was, because that's
Yeah.
not something that you want. If you're gonna introduce it, you want to believe it. You don't want it to actually happen, but you do want to believe that it did.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that the camera didn't show how off he must have been, and the movement was quick enough that they were able to shield it, and you could tell that he didn't hit him with it because there was no burn on Darby's stomach.
Yeah. I need a 10-minute promo that gives us the story on Ole Anderson tasing Tony Schiavone in 1990.
Yeah, I didn't know about
I
that.
didn't know that happened either, but I need to know
Is
more.
somebody tell us on which episode of What Happened When Tony Schiavone discusses this, because I want to listen to that episode specifically.
Yeah, I need to know about Ole Anderson tasing Tony
I
Schiavone.
guarantee you,
There's a story behind this.
if they haven't already told that story on that podcast, you can bet that Comrade Thompson is going to ask him on this week's episode, hey, so you brought this up. I want to know what happened when Ole Anderson tased you in
Yeah,
1999.
I need to know about that. Yeah, I definitely need to know.
Like, I try to avoid most of Conrad's stuff
I
because,
do too for the most part, Grifter.
I mean, the stories
Uh,
are great.
but the stories are
I
great. Yeah,
love the stories.
his guests are impeccable. It's him I don't care for, but the
I
guests
don't
are
even
always good.
mind. I don't mind him as a host. I think he's fair as a host.
Yeah,
But he's one of these. He's a carny.
I don't like the
You
fact that
know?
he talks like I get okay. I get that you run Starcast
Yeah.
and you run like a couple of wrestling shows,
Anybody who
whatever.
loves wrestling that much, I can't hate.
Yeah,
that
I can't hate
much.
you that much, but what I can say is like when people like Ric Flair or somebody are talking about the inner working of the business, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like somebody who has forgotten more about this business than you know, and let's be admitted here, you might be a promoter, but you don't know a lot. Shut up. And he has a problem interrupting people when they're saying things, and I'm like, what he's saying is important, and he's
Yeah.
talking about the business, and you don't
I don't.
know, so be quiet, please.
Yeah, I don't mind his interruptions of certain people when he's calling them on their BS. Like, he'll call Bruce Pritchard on his BS all the time.
Well, I mean,
And that guy deserves to be called out at every opportunity.
mhm.
As much as I do love his stories,
of like the 80s and early 90s specifically. You know, because that stuff is fascinating to me. And there's no reason to believe that most of what he says about that era didn't happen, because
Yeah.
there's no game for him to lie about that because it was so
Mhm.
far in the past. But um, yeah, like you want to talk about stuff that could get him in trouble. He's always got a story to cover his rear end.
Mhm.
The only one that I believe on him and believe him about was that he wasn't involved in the screw job in Montreal. I
Mhm.
believe that because there's footage of him in Wrestling with Shadows where he's at Gorilla the whole time.
Yeah.
He's at Gorilla the whole time. He's not out there on the floor with McMahon. He's not,
No.
with Gerald Briscoe. He's on comms.
He's the guy
Man,
on the headset going, "What the fuck is
I
happening?"
absolutely believe that he had no idea what was going.
When
100%.
something like that happens, you can't tell that many people. Tell a
Yeah,
telephone, tell a friend, tell a wrestler.
yeah.
That
That's
shit
his
is true as
favorite
hell.
catchphrase.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
uh,
I know it is because it's true, man. Like, you
yeah,
can't tell a fucking wrestler a goddamn thing without everybody else finding out about it. So,
yeah.
like, if you're doing something like the screw job, if that shit was a work, the only people who fucking knew about it were the two guys in the ring and Vince McMahon. If it wasn't a fucking work, the only guys who knew about it were fucking Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon.
Well, and
Like,
Triple H too.
maybe Triple H too, but like
He's
you go outside of
he,
three people and everybody finds out.
yeah.
And Triple H, contrary to popular belief, is not a typical wrestler. He's not on any drugs. Okay, guys, like that's one thing that a lot of people don't put into perspective is that he might have been a member of the Clique and hung out with those guys, but he was not like a
He
cocaine
was
and
their
pill
DD.
addict. Yeah, he was their DD. This is a smart dude.
I do believe that in 2002, up
He was
until
probably
the
on
point
roids.
he was on the gas.
Oh, he's probably on
He
the gas,
absolutely on the
but
gas.
that's different than like a hardcore drug addiction.
Yeah. I
Also,
mean, you
you
see
know,
you see how his body transformed as soon as they
yeah,
instituted a
yeah,
wellness policy.
yeah. He was definitely on the gas before that, but
Yeah.
like that, but that this is a
But
dude who
that's
like,
different than being a pillhead.
yeah. So like, if he knows something and was one of like two or three people who knew, you could probably bet that it wouldn't get out. But you couldn't tell like four dudes like Sean what was going on and it not get everywhere.
Dude,
You
Sean was
know,
a crackhead at that point. Like
yeah, like exactly. So, yeah, yeah, but
that's why they didn't tell him until the day of.
yeah,
Like
exactly. But that's kind of beside the point
they
as
didn't tell
we're
Hebner until he was at Gorilla.
see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I need to know more about the tasing situation. I need to know
Yeah.
why. I mean, now, do I think that it would have taken much for Ole Anderson to tase somebody? Hell no, he was a grumpy old bastard.
That man was notoriously
Yeah,
a grumpy
notorious
old
for being a
bastard.
dickhead. Yeah, like
Yeah.
everybody, like when you have people as nice as Mick Foley and as shitty as Ric Flair all saying that you were a fucking dickhead, you were a dickhead, man. Like
Yeah.
that's all there is. Like the first time somebody calls you a horse, you know,
Yeah.
like
It's yeah, it's truth by consensus,
yeah. But oh,
you
but
know.
not only that, but I believe pretty much anything Mick Foley says, and he's a very nice
Yeah.
person and very rarely has a
Yeah.
bad word to say about anybody. Even in like Ric Flair's case, who's like openly talked badly about him, he still doesn't say bad things about Ric Flair. But Ole, man, if you read any of Mick's books, he
Yeah.
talks about Ole at length, and Ole's a fucking asshole,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
straight up. So, but yeah, I need to know
I
more
think it
about the
comes from the
tasing.
fact somebody named him Oli.
That might be part of it. But yeah, so back to this. Darby had all kinds of baddies in his bag, including a thing of mace that basically put Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia out of the match the entire
Yep.
time.
Oh, and a thing of lighter fluid that
Yeah,
he doused. I think he emptied the entire thing on John
he
Moxley.
probably did, and nobody got lit on fire. That was
Nobody got
kind of
lit on fire.
disappointing.
Well,
I was
that
like, he's
was
about to
I
light him
think
on fire. Ha ha.
that was a red herring. I think that was just the impetus to give you the excuse for the Death Riders to be out there at that moment in time.
Yeah,
Because it
yeah,
was only Marina at that point, and none of the other Death Riders were ringside. That was the point where they all came to make the save.
yeah.
And after that, they take turns beating him down. And Claudio he sets up a table on the outside
but then chooses not. He picks up he picks up Darby and he teases putting him through the table on the outside that he just set up, and instead goes right up to the ropes so that he can run the entire length of the ring with Darby up over his head in the gorilla press position and launches him into the announce table and hits perfectly. You could not have planned it any better. I mean, granted, Darby was absolutely destroyed, but as far as well as this spot could go, it went.
Mhm.
Like it
This
was
shit was funny as fuck.
picture perfect.
He landed it
Like
right on that sign, and like
Bam
right,
Bam Bigelow up in heaven was looking down and is like, damn, I didn't even throw Spike that far.
right. It was funny too because like he hit the ropes, or he got to the ropes where he was gonna throw over to the first side where he had set the table up, and he turns around and this look is on his face, and I'm like, he's about to do something fucking wild.
And the crowd knows it too.
And the
They're
crowd
like,
knows it, and
there's
Tony
this collective
Schiavone's
noise, like, oh,
and Tony Schiavone's like, wait a minute, Claudio, the other way. Hey, don't, no, not this way, you son of a bitch.
yeah, just ludicrous. And the table doesn't break
And
even.
the table didn't break.
It
Oh,
just bounces off of it. Table was made in Japan.
table didn't
Uh,
break. I'm telling you, that
and
table's gonna
then
break, and that's gonna be a big deal, man. Like,
after that, Pac literally grabs him, doesn't give him any time to breathe, goes over there, picks up the corpse of Darby Allin by the ankle, and literally drags him with no give. Darby is dead weight at this point. He's not giving him anything. So
yeah,
Pac is just being the huge roided out muscle dude that he is
Jesus
now,
Christ,
and
is he
just
on the gas?
dragging. Oh, and he's back in his gear now.
Yeah,
He's
he has,
back,
yeah,
no more long boys and a shirt. It's back
just
to
the
Pac,
trunks. Yeah,
and he just is dragging him all the way, sets him up on the table, and or sets him up for what's his face Moxley to hit the Death Rider through the table off the apron.
just yeah, Jesus Christ, man. That was pretty brutal itself. Like, and now Darby's, in the rubble. Mox is yelling at him to quit. Um, and while Mox is yelling at him to quit, Darby's like, "Nah, fuck that."
Yeah,
And so Mox gets up and starts doing his little cunty walk,
I hate that
and then he
walk.
like,
I
and
hate that
he,
stupid
and then he
face of his.
fucking, and then he like draws his thumb across his throat, and suddenly Marina and Claudio
And Yuta.
put an aquarium in the ring and fill it with water. And as soon as
Yeah,
they started filling it with water, I was like, fuck.
yeah,
They're gonna drown him. Like, they're gonna
yep,
literally just, we're about to watch Darby Allin get waterboarded, and that's
yeah.
exactly what happened.
You just yeah,
That's old school waterboarding without the fucking, that's how
yeah,
they used to do simulated drowning before they figured out the rag part.
yeah.
And yeah, so like Moxley just grabs Darby Allin's head up and shoves it in this water, pulls it out. Darby's like, no, I'm not going to quit. He shoves him back in there, and he's like holding him under for this extended period of time. And
Third
the
time.
light, yeah, for the third time, and the lights go out.
And it was at this point that Aaron and I independently had the same thought. Where the hell are Darby's friends?
Yeah, where are Darby's friends? I was getting pissed at this point.
Yeah, I was getting visibly agitated at
Yeah,
home. I'm like, where? Like, I was getting angry at the storylines. Like, why aren't they booking him to have any friends?
yeah,
And then at that moment, they pull the Sabu. They turn off the lights, and up they come in the middle of the ring. Is old man Sting,
oh,
and I'm like,
very old
okay.
man Logan vibes going on here.
And I'm like, okay, all right, fine, all right, you got me. That's fine.
Yeah,
It's
that's
Sting.
fine.
Sting's always welcome. Sting's awesome.
Yeah,
Sting's forever awesome.
yeah,
And he has the bat. He points it at Moxley. He's about to hit Moxley, but then the other Death Riders hit the ring, and he clears them all. He clears Pac and Wheeler and Claudio with the bat. He points at Mox again, but then he takes the bat and he tosses it to Darby, who had retreated to a corner. Then he just leaves and trusting Darby to finish the
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Well,
good day. And then he carries Marino away when
yeah, he
she tries
gets
to
out of the
attack him.
ring and Marina tries to attack him, and he just picks her up over his shoulder and walks out with her. So now all the Death Riders are effectively done.
Yep.
They're all out. Daniel Garcia and Yuta have been sprayed down with mace. They're still out from that. Castagnoli and Pac have been beaten to shit with that baseball bat. Man, oh
Yeah.
man, the sounds coming off that bat when he was hitting
Yeah.
everybody. Like it didn't matter if it was Darby or Sting. They were really hitting people with that bat. Now I'm pretty sure Moxley was like, "You really better hit me with that bat."
Yeah.
But
Guaranteed it.
Claudio and Pac were probably like, "Oh, we're gonna get some swings from an old man," and then they got dinged up by that fucking bat. And then he handed it off to Darby.
I think he realized what he looked like. He's like, "Oh man, this has got to be real, doesn't it?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. But then Darby gets the bat and he hits Moxley in the stomach with it, and then like in the shoulder and face area with it. And then he
he
shoots
gets him like
Moxley
right on the
off and hits
kneecap.
him right in the kneecap, coming back off of a shoot off,
Oh.
dude. Oh man, that shit had to
God.
hurt, man.
Yeah,
That
that
shit
had to
hurt.
reverberate all up and down his body.
Oh yeah, that shit had to hurt. But then after he does that, he puts Moxley
Scorpion Death Drop, baby.
in a Scorpion Death Drop, and then he's in the water and glass from the aquarium, and he turns him over and puts him in the Scorpion Deathlock. At which point Moxley gives up and says, "I quit." Now, I really would have preferred him to actually have finished this with the AEW flag, like he said he was gonna. And also, like we were talking about before the show, a lot of this was kind of lost on the TV viewing audience because you couldn't see any of the glass because of the puddle of water.
Yeah, because the way it happened, like we know it was sugar glass, right? I mean, they wouldn't use real glass for something like this. It was a sugar glass thing to be safe as they could be while still getting that kind of visual. The problem was that it was in the middle of the ring, and the middle of the ring bows a little bit. So when all that water, when Sting hit the aquarium with the bat and spilled the water everywhere, it puddled in the center. So whatever shards of sugar glass that were there, you couldn't see because they were submerged by the water.
And probably dissolving.
And probably dissolving. So it must have looked like, and because it looked like from our vantage point, we had the best seat in the house, our own house, watching on TV with close-up cameras. So I can only imagine what the people in the audience at the time thought. Is like, this is just the Scorpion Deathlock. Like, I mean, it's cool, it's great, but it's just a submission hold after all that.
Yeah.
He didn't, the glass was hidden. They didn't hedge their bets and have him blade himself to simulate the fact that the idea that he was getting cut up by the glass that he was supposedly, laying down upon.
Yeah.
And they were rushing it too because they were almost out of time. So they didn't even have time to do that, really. He had to pretty much quit almost immediately. And so the ending felt, I feel like, a little bit flat. Also, why did they have a microphone? Like, I feel like they really could have benefited.
Yeah, you didn't even hear Moxley say "I quit." Yeah, they definitely needed a microphone for this, like they used to do in WWE. Because like this, you couldn't even hear Moxley say "I quit." He just kind of nodded and it was over.
Yeah, like the fans want, if they're going into an "I quit" match, they want to hear the words from themselves.
Yeah,
that's what the match is sold on. That's what you should give them. As loud as Moxley was screaming, he was kind of unintelligible.
Yeah.
So, like, you should have. I mean, I don't know. I still like my booking better personally.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan of if you're following me on Blue Sky, I made a pitch that I'm gonna read now because I do think it's better. It's my show, damn it. I'm gonna do it. Uh so instead of what happened, I would have had the Death Riders be a constant present in the match, but one by one, Darby gets rid of them, except for Shafir, in one way or another. So it's down mostly to one-on-one for after about 20 minutes. After 3 consecutive Death Riders in the center of the ring, Moxley accidentally knocked out Darby instead of getting him to say "I quit," meaning he's unintentionally made the match longer since he's gonna have to wake him back up to get him to say. But in the interim, he calls Shafir over and whispers in her. She immediately goes underneath the ring and comes out with a bag, re-enters the ring and hands it to Mox. He opens it and reveals 4 sets of handcuffs and a key, and instructs Shafir to help him cuff each of his appendages to the ring rope. Spread eagle, like the Vitruvian Man, if you're familiar with the works of Leonardo da Vinci. As they're getting Darby's last appendage, his right arm cuffed up, he wakes up and screams, "Wait!" Mox, thinking that the mere threat of what he's going to do to him is enough, so he won't have to go through with it, smiles, takes the ref's microphone. In my booking, there's a microphone. You got something to say, Darbs? Yeah, Darby responds after taking the mic from Mox. I do. I never wanted to have to do this, John, but it looks like you've got me dead to rights, and I've got no choice. Mox grins, leaning into the mic. You want to make a production out of this? Fine. As long as those 2 words are coming, whatever. Alan smiles as John shoves the mic back to his chest. You don't understand, John. See, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the admitted sympathy I have with your vision, despite your methods. But I've always had a card up my sleeve to play that I just didn't want to. But it looks like I have. He gestures to the big screen, showing Renee Paquette tied to a chair in some random room, presumably in the arena. Mox's eyes go wide, and the announce team goes ballistic, claiming he's gone too far. And the crowd doesn't really know how to react. But Darby, see, John, you said this was all about sacrifice from the beginning. So what are you willing to give up to hear me say this? Moxley, seething, comes in close to Allen. Through gritted teeth, barely audible, but for the microphone close by, he seethes. Where is she? Uncuff me and we'll talk. Mox does that annoying, furious pacing he does for a few seconds before demanding Shafir unlock the cuffs. As soon as he's free, Mox blasts Allen, demanding to know where she is and what he's done with her. Between fists hitting his face, Allen screams, "Pan out!" The camera inside the room pans out and reveals a time bomb. Darby Allen appears to have gone completely batshit crazy. It's not a concussive bomb, John. Don't worry, a deranged Allen cackles. But the acid will probably scar her pretty face. Just what she gets for aiding and abetting your crusade. So you're going to do what I tell you, John, aren't you? Moxley, furious, and for the first time in forever, looking genuinely afraid, and on someone else's behalf even, nods dejectedly. Good, Allen replies. He then hands the cuffs to Shafir, though he keeps the key. Cuff your boss. Shafir doesn't want to, instead looking to wrap her fist in the metal of the cuffs and blast him with it. Seeing this, Darby waves his finger. You do that, the bomb will probably go off sooner than you can get to her. You want the opportunity to save her, don't you? Do it, Marina! A frantic Moxley orders, leaning against the ropes to expedite the process. She begrudgingly follows suit, and once Moxley is all tied up with nowhere to go, Allen digs in his pants pocket, handing Shafir a piece of paper. That's the room number. Run. She does so. With the actual match participants finally truly alone with each other for the first time all match, Allen ditches the ring and gets his own bag from underneath the ring. A body bag, naturally. He takes the time laying it out in the ring to reveal that it has Moxley's name on it for the world to see. The camera crew catches up to Shafir just in time to see her find the room. She breaks down the door, sees Renee, and begins to untie her. Ooh, are they gonna make it? Allen taunts as the camera pans around to see that there are only 10 seconds left on the countdown clock. Not enough time. Knowing what this means, Shafir shields Renee's body like the good soldier she is. Mox screams when the clock hits 0. The bomb explodes, sending white paint throughout the whole room. Nothing more. Moxley's relieved, but also confused. What's the point of that? He screamed. Alan smirks and gets real close to Moxley. To get you alone, idiot, he remarks quietly. You really think I'd resort to actually doing that kind of harm to anyone who wasn't a wrestler, who actually agreed to sign up for this? See, that's your problem. You've always just seen me in a cartoon. So I used that, John, he says, going down to the mat to unzip the body bag. I intentionally got increasingly cartoonish and over the top with my methods of dealing with you and your people. So this, he just says, gesturing to the screen, would actually be believable to you. So now you're all alone. All your Death Riders gone, and it's you and me in the ring, just us. Though, he leans in again, right, Mox's here. To tell you the truth, the white is downfall regardless. He backs away and rummages through the body bag. Thing is, when she first came to AEW 3 years ago, he continued searching the bag. There was a night where we were all out after a successful dynamite. A bunch of us went out to celebrate. Renee got a little tipsy. And as it turns out, when she gets tipsy, she gets talkative too. And since I don't drink, which is true, straight edge, I remember clear as day what it was she accidentally revealed to me about you. For all your tough guy bluster and bravado, for all your ability to tank hit after hit after hit and keep coming to instill fear in everyone you face, I know you're weak. See, my man here can take any kind of pain imaginable. Hell, the only reason he submitted to give up the men's world title was out of survival, not pain intolerance. As he's monologuing, the commentators note the revived Death Riders converging on the ring from different angles. No pain on earth could make him quit, he said. Not even the threat of endangering his wife, it would seem. You didn't say the words even then, did you, John? Moxley hangs his head. Renee will give him hell for it after the event. Surely. No, pain won't make Moxley quit. But there is something. He finally eyes the Death Riders approaching through the crowd and dives into the bag to reveal a feather duster. The Death Riders stop in their tracks, they and the commentators mirroring the crowd's confusion. Moxley, on the other hand, turns ghost white and starts backpedaling in place as he's trapped against the ropes. You know what this is, don't you, John? Allen inching closer and closer to his opponent with the cleaning implement. Moxley's response alternates between hateful, I'll kill yous, and anxious, get that thing away from me. Time to show everyone the real Moxley, John. No, no, please, no. Moxley screams, but it's too late, and Allen attacks his completely vulnerable armpits with a feather duster. He wriggles and giggles in place, unable to escape as Allen's face lights up with sadistic glee. How about it, John? He yells. What you say? Do you quit? Commentary is perplexed at the tactic, and the Death Riders can only stare in cringing disbelief as their leader, their hero, is completely emasculated in front of the whole world. They still have clear hope in their eyes, though, and eventually shake the cobwebs loose and charge the ring. Right as it looks as though the converging Death Riders are going to save him, though, Mox screams into the microphone held in Allen's free hand. I quit, goddammit, I quit! The bell rings and Allen is announced the winner. He smiles as a dejected Moxley exiting the ring unimpeded. The Death Riders slide into the ring, looking up the ramp at Darby with flabbergasted faces. As the winner heads to the back, the crew all looks at Mox, who barks at them to uncuff him. They just stare. Despite his orders, each member leaves the ring one by one until only Shafir is left. Mox begs and pleads for Shafir not to abandon him, but even she leaves him, tears of disappointment running down her paint-splattered face as she marches through the crowd. Eventually, a bunch of officials do the job, but even they look at him no longer with fear, but pity. And that, my friend, is how you kill a monster. Not with brute force, but with humiliation. By lampshading just how fragile and pathetic they really are. A fitting end for toxic masculinity, the character.
Well, there we go. That is our alternative ending for Wrestle Dream that probably would have been better, to be perfectly
Yeah.
honest.
I am kind of partial to what you told me before this show went on the air,
Yeah,
though.
so I think they should have pivoted instead of putting him in the Scorpion Deathlock. Our Darby should have wrapped the AEW flag around his neck and pulled him up like he was going to do the stomp thing that Daniel Garcia's been doing for the last couple of weeks, but then position his face over the broken glass of the aquarium and tell him, if you don't quit, I'm going to stomp.
Yeah.
And that alone
Completely
being enough.
believable.
Yeah, completely believable. Like, hey man, you can quit now, or I'm gonna stomp the shit out of you on this glass. And
He
I
can
mean,
withstand
Mox
all the
has to
pain.
quit or die, basically. I
Yeah.
mean,
Because, in kayfabe, that's real glass. That would be
yeah,
going into his neck or his
yeah.
eyeball or something that would absolutely kill him.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, completely believable.
Oh yeah,
I
totally.
think that is an ending too.
Yeah, I do too. I they should have pivoted at some point there, especially once the water came out and kind of covered everything up. They definitely should have pivoted there. But I'm not mad at how it went. I'm glad Darby won.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
That was the important.
Yeah, I'd
Plus,
just
we
like to
got
see what we're
Sting.
gonna do now. Yeah, we got
We,
Sting too, and I'm always happy to see Sting. But like,
oh yeah,
I just don't know what we're gonna do with this now. What we're gonna do with the Death Riders now. I hope that like we have a little bit of a, like, you guys, you led us to this shit and then you lost. Like, we need some of that on Wednesday.
yeah,
Maybe especially from Daniel Garcia, who literally left all of his friends and turned his back on everybody he loves to be a winner, and now he's with the losers. Yeah, I mean, something's got to give here. We need to move this forward. Like, okay, what they've been doing the last few weeks, like putting people over and helping make stars, cool. We need to move on now. Like, we need
yeah.
to move to the next step. Whatever that next step is, we need to get some clarity on that on Wednesday. I don't know what Darby's going to do after this either. So, I mean, are we going to continue this? We need to figure it out.
I mean, I would hope that he would take it off.
I'm hoping both of them to. The only reason I don't want to see the Death Riders on Wednesday is if John Moxley and Darby Allin both were like, "Hey, we'll be back in like 2 weeks."
Although I will say, maybe it would actually help Mox to show up this week because then it would further hammer the point home how little it actually took for him to give up at the end.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
how much of a hypocrite he was.
yeah. Maybe the
You
Death
know,
Riders can play that. Like, hey, man, you told us, you made us believe that it would take way more than that to make you quit,
yeah,
but you got put away by an old man's finisher.
yeah.
Like, what?
Like,
Like,
if I slap you in the scorpion, yeah, Claudio, I could slap you in the same hold right now. Kind of known for it. You gonna give up then? With me?
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna play this, but I'd like to see some kind of furtherance in this story and kind of a loss of faith in Moxley as a result.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be some of that going on.
I'm
So
so tired of the Death Riders. I need
yeah,
them to dissolve or take a different form or something. I
what a
can't.
glorious world it's going to be when we're watching AEW while Mercedes Monet and the Death Riders are both having their glorious downfalls.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, and that's not me saying I hate either of those people. That's me saying, like,
No, they've
we have
run their
been
course.
waiting and built. Yeah, we've
They've
been
run their
building for a
course.
year for these downfalls. Like, these downfalls are going to be glorious,
Yeah, they're gonna be
and they're
cathartic.
both going to be happening at the same fucking time. We're going to get so much. Like, the only thing that could be made better by this is if we somehow, during the like Mercedes is on her very last title and she's about to lose it, and like she's on the TBS title and we're about to get like a somebody to take it from her, and then John Moxley's like just got Marina left and she's about to leave. And then somehow in the middle of all that, we get a one-on-one cage match with Willow and Stokely and she just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the most cathartic episode of Dynamite ever,
It would be great.
or
I'm
pay-per-view
down
ever for that matter.
I mean, I would certainly pay to see it.
Yeah, I would pay to see all those
I
things.
wouldn't balk at that.
So yeah, but that was Wrestle Dream. I thought A+ show overall. Like, I really enjoyed a lot of the matches. Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher was like a fucking amazing match, and that was still probably the the lighter, lower point of the show, and it wasn't really a low point like that. That's saying a lot when that's your kind of floor. Like, I can't say it was a low point because it wasn't low. It was just the floor of the show, and the floor of the show was a 4.5-star match, guys.
Yeah.
Fucking, what do you want me to say? Like, the floor of the show was 4.5 stars. I can't see any match on this show getting less than like a 4. If that.
Yeah.
4.5 is pretty. I mean, even like the throwaway trios matches were fucking good. Like, I mean, everything that happened on this pay-per-view was worth being on this pay-per-view. Jet Speed and FTR going over the limit from and actually technically being on both shows was still like that. That was a 4-star tag match. Like, I mean, you can't. We can count it as the pre-show, so the floor would still be 4.5 for the Fletcher and Protostar or Fletcher and Briscoe match, but it was such a good show all the way around. Like,
It's where
it
the
took
best
me like
Russell, baby.
Yeah, it took me like 6 hours to watch it, but fucking, because I had to watch it at work and in between customers and stuff. But like, it had me engrossed the whole time. Like, I'm so glad I was by myself last night because everybody would be like, "What are you fucking doing?" And I'm like watching it full blast in the middle of the building, like but I'm by myself. So like, it was worth every fucking second. I enjoyed every bit of it. Like, yeah, there were some things I would have done differently, but I'm not the guy booking the fucking show. Tony, and he's doing a great job. So I don't know what else to say about it, really.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that does it for us for this week.
Yeah, that's us for this week. We will see you guys again next week for our regular coverage with our regular Call It in the Ring segment. Congrats to the 7 million of us who showed up on Saturday.
Yeah, no king.
Those of us who showed up to No Kings.
No kings except Brody.
Yeah, no kings except Brody. But yeah, with 7 million of us, no arrests. 7 million people, no arrests. We did a fucking wonderful job, guys. Thank you for.
That's a really incredible feat.
Thank you
considering how many of those police departments that were watching all around the country probably were just itching for an excuse.
A lot of them, like San Diego and a few other places, came out and said thank you for like not causing any problems, basically.
Yeah.
I will say this, as somebody who's part of like a veteran reactionary force for events like this, thank you for not making me have to do my job. Like, really, I mean, like, honestly, like, my job entails the worst shit happening, and thanks for not making me do it. Like, I mean, I'm here with y'all, and I'm out there with y'all, and I'm protesting right alongside you. But when shit gets real, people like me are the people who are tasked to kind of mitigate that situation one way or the other. And I'm so happy that all of my fears from the week before that did not come to fruition, and that I did not have to do my job. And so thank you all for all of that. Anybody listening that was out there, thanks for going out. Thanks for raising your voice for us. It's still kind of a shitty world out there. We have some hope, but it's still kind of shitty. So keep your head on a swivel. Be safe out there. We love you. And we'll see you next time.